There's like an entire army here. This is like, I don't know, your local soccer team is hanging out here with that one big goon that's just a ringer. So maybe it's a hockey team. Like, this is the guy that just shows up to rec league hockey and just tries to start fights. Because he still thinks that, you know, his varsity jacket from high school fits, and he's just a bruiser, and he hates his job, and they just want to, you know, they just want to go punch people in the teeth. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I'm tired. I'd be lying if I said I was anything other than exhausted. I don't know why. Honestly, I had dinner. Like, I was doing okay most of the day. And then I had dinner. And then I just hit the wall. Like, all of a sudden, I am beat. I was debating having some coffee before the stream. I've done that before. Obviously, as you'd imagine, we'll say it negatively impacts my sleep pattern. Put it that way. But I chose not to do it. We're going to try and tough it out. We're going to be playing some Phobies. Quick aside, everybody, before we get into the actual content, I was accepted into the Phobies Content Affiliate Program, the content creator program, you might call it. Shout out to the Phobies team, and thank you for that. But the reason I'm telling you, everybody out there, dear viewer, dear listener, is to let everybody know that I do receive some compensation from the Phobies team as a result of being part of that program. Now, I loved Phobies before, and I still love Phobies now, and I expect I will still continue to love Phobies in the future. So look forward to more Phobies content coming from Random's Thoughts. So now, on with the show. Alright, so we're jumping into a viewer game review. YUNOboo here is our hero in the blue trunk, zoning in on Xylo. Some cool plays, and I don't know how that alligator didn't get pushed off, are the notes. So we'll have to see how this goes. Yeah, the heart was not a valid target. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if the game bugged or what. So we have, you know, some standard openers, nothing really to write home about. We're probably going to get a little trading going on in the middle, get a Hevo started up. I need to level my Hevo, but I just haven't gotten the upgrades for it because I'd like to utilize it more, but unfortunately, no such luck. So we get the break here, which allows the cat to stay off the lava. Now, I actually have started to really like Gravedigger and Mount Crushmore on this map, more so than I did before. I think everybody's wise to the boops and the yoinks, so it's very difficult to get any of those to work out. Now, I did have a cool play offline myself where I was able to Crushmore this block, yoink something with a spider by swinging it around, and then blow up a bunch of their board. But that's kind of those are the galaxy brain plays you kind of have to make happen in order for people to not, you know, like, I doubt anyone's sticking anything on the stim when the spider's in range anymore, right? Like, everyone's had that happen to them or done it to somebody. So we get an Octonauty. Right now, the army from our orange player is pretty scary. Got a matching pole. You got the longer range here. You got some flight. I mean, admittedly, it's not that scary. We're talking about, like, Cat and Gravedigger supplementing it, so it's not an enormous amount to write home about. Hey, Bozo, what's good? We just played one game tonight so far, and then we're doing some game reviews. I gotta make sure that I hit my weekly game totals. So we get the spider inching up here, which is fine. It's just a little weird because it's not, you know, like, there's nothing really here to yoink, and there's nothing to supplement a yoink. We're obviously going to get the replacement here with the cowbell swapping in for the cat. The Gatortio follow-up means that there's immediately going to be an opportunity for our blue player to maintain panic point control. And obviously we get a reposition to try and not just die to what's on the board. Yeah, we started a little early tonight, Bozo, just like last night. I'll probably start early tomorrow as well. We'll play it by ear. I'm trying to get in as many game reviews as I can before the patch on Monday because I'm kind of expecting the patch to break replays again. We'll have to see what the patch actually does, but, you know. I'm going to get through as many as I can. So, in the meantime, we're just getting the big standoff here. There's nothing really obvious to me. Is like, okay, yeah, do this play, and then all of a sudden, you take over control of the board. Get a little murder wing dance there. And we're just going to stare at each other for a while. I mean, it is incumbent on our orange player to make something happen. So this is kind of cool. We get an invade into a break. Is this going to be a dead murder wing? Oh, almost. I don't know that that's worth it. I also have no idea why that cowbell is there. Like, at all. A little hydrate going. So obviously Hevo does what it does. Murder Wing gets a little meatballage going. Gonna spread some jar cannon love. I don't know about this yoink. It seems unnecessary. Like, I guess the need here is to... Because, like, you could have walked the Jin Sting down, hit it, and then hit this with Contortio. You wouldn't have recapped immediately. It would have been in range of Jar and this. So it would have been, like, 770... like, this should have lived. Actually, no, it probably wouldn't, because this would advance and yoink it back. But then you might kill the Octonauty. It's a little weird is the point to endanger the spider on the lava there, but I guess it's not the end of the world. It's not likely to die here. They need to clear out the Contortio before Octonauty can get involved. Obviously, Octonauty's not going to do that. And this is swung around hard to our blue player, although there are 15 keys readily available for our orange player, so I expect a enormous army coming in. And because the spider pull is down, this Klepto is actually safe for now. And we have double Gators. Gators staring each other down from opposite ends of the board. Level 7 and level 7. Okay. I don't know about retreating the Hevo here. I think the Hevo needed to be where Murder Wing is, so that way it could actually help out with this center spot. Murder Wing could have hung out, but it is what it is. So we get Rambolina, the inevitable boop that we were alluding to when I was talking about the description for the game. Chat, while we're watching this, let me know, what do you think is going to change in the balance patch? We know Beauty's on target. We've been talking about Stabby, but are there any other Phobies that you think absolutely need something to happen? Whoa, chat. Look at this boop. So this is the boop that was being talked about. We get boop. I understand why the Gator did not go backwards. Like, this one made sense, because they all needed to go back. Like, straight back. But so for everybody out there who's watching this, trying to figure out how boops work, the Gator going backwards makes sense. It's going to go straight back. Because that's how Rambolina reads, I believe. Rambolina damages and pushes an enemy unit backwards 1 tile, as well as all adjacent enemy units. Default direction is a straight line. So it's going to try and push each of these straight backwards. The bigger question for me is, why did Klepto not end up in the abyss? Yes, this is a valid tile. But why did Klepto not go backwards? Instead of, like, it is backwards as in, I guess, away from the boop epicenter, we'll call it. They are all going straight back from the heart, but that's, I think, I guess where the confusion... This is the wrong thing. I meant to click on this. What is the definition of back here? Like, what is the thing that it's trying to go back from? From the heart would make sense, because then it goes straight out, straight out, straight out. I can just never figure out if the default straight line is supposed to be from the target or the booper. Yeah, I agree with you. Regardless, this is an excellent boop. This is an excellent boop. Wait, what? I guess this is gonna die to the lava. Never mind. Oh, wow, you get the double kill here? You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. And then the gator swings in. At this point, our orange player's in some deep, deep doo-doo. They don't really have the damage to actually kill the opposing gator at this stage. I mean, I guess they could. A bunch of stuff could pop out from the vault here. But yeah, you have to invest a lot just to take down the Rambolina. Alright, maybe they're not in such a terrible position, but the panic point advantage is blue. Gonna be able to get some damage going down on a number of these things. I'm sure this Octonauty dies. There we go. I was gonna say, like, there were a number of different ways this thing could have died. But at this point, our hero is just picking apart the bad guy. Just tearing them apart. It's these 4 Phobies against the world, and we're 4 turns away from the close of this game, so I think we can all see where this is going. This is pretty well played. This is pretty well played. I like the different setups here to make this stuff happen. The Rambolina boop was exceptional. You love to see a good boop. And there's just not really much that orange player can do at this stage. Panic point advantage, phobia advantage. Yes, this gator's not likely to die, but who cares? Oh, you're actually going for all of the panic points. Alright, alright. I've had my pterodactyl killed so many times because it's pulled onto obstacles instead of straight. Yeah, it's a little weird. I wonder how much of it is with flyers, like, because it's a valid space, it's not, at least for me, it's not the first thing I think of. I'm like, oh, well, it'll get pulled around this way. But it doesn't, because it ends up getting yoinked in the straight line and ends up on an obstacle that maybe you know, like, in hindsight, it's like, obviously it was going to go there, but you don't necessarily think of that right away. I assume we're getting a heart dive here. Still panic point advantage blue. The Hevo and the Gator can collapse on the heart. And GG. Well played. Congrats, YUNOboo. This is a pretty cool game. I did like that boop. I'm still confused. I'm still confused as to exactly how boops and pulls work, but GG. Well played. That was pretty cool. I agree with chat. It's probably from the target of the boop, but we did that one breakdown of a Luffy game a few weeks ago, and now it's like there are so many things that feel confusing about it. And I just don't know how to reconcile what I've seen in games. I'm trying to do this update Discord at the same time, so I'm kind of stuttering a bit. But I can't quite reconcile why it behaves the way it does. I never feel like I can predict it with 100% certainty. Alright, we may or may not have a D&D fan watching Chomp in the rain at the beach in Modelo. Nice. Nice, Luffy. Wait, it's in the rain? Are you on the beach in the rain? Even Mr. Tramples just doesn't work sometimes. How does Mr. Tramples get screwed up? Fantaling. Okay. It's raining all week and it will not kill my vibe. Fair. Well, enjoy the beach there, Loof. So we're zoning in. Our hero here is Strahd. Shout out to, I guess, my D&D fans. That is the vampire, right? The one-shot campaign. I don't play D&D. I just, like, because I'm into enough stuff that's, like, tangentially related, I know of it. But anyway, we're zoning into Opticon, quickly becoming one of my least favorite maps. I'm just not a fan of this one. I don't know that I ever really liked it, but I'm not loving it right now. So, we have some interesting openers, because we get an Unbearable, which is, early on, I can respect the Unbearable. Okay, this makes no sense. Well, I guess this kind of makes sense. You keep the leap available, because you could have gone up here and just leapt onto the Contortio to kill it, but then you don't have a great way to threaten this, although they're probably just going to walk it away anyway. But it could have saved you 3 keys. Jar is good enough anyway, especially on this map, that it's probably fine. But I like the Unbearable early, because then you can actually get it into position. If you get it mid to late game, it may never get into position in time. Or it'll get like 1 attack or something like that. The Unicorn's also a little weird. I don't know how I feel about that one, but we'll have to see how many traps go down. Mr. Trample moved 3 with ability. Anything in the path takes damage, just needs to end up in an empty space, but it regularly refuses to choose the valid path with Phobies on it. So I don't have Mr. Trample, so I don't know how it behaves. Do you not, like, click the ability and then click the end space? Or are you saying when you do that, it ends up going away from the Phobies you want to hit anyway? You choose a space just as if you moved. Interesting. That's weird that it's so screwed up then. Speaking of weird, we get a Gesundheit and a very aggressive Unbearable here. Even panic points as we stand. It prefers the shortest path. Interesting. So the K9 goes down, but I imagine... Well, I was going to say we're going to get a trade with the Gesundheit, but this sheep is able to get all up on this Unbearable, so it's got to run, and even if it does, it's going to need a body block to ensure that it doesn't get crapped on. So it's a 4-2 panic point advantage here, orange, for our hero. But now we have a Hevo 3.0 on the stim. Honestly, I'm not real sold on the Hevo in this position. Hevo is definitely strong, but... Oh, please don't cluster for this thing, though. The problem is... Okay, you have a Sparky follow-up. I probably would have put the Sparky where the Unicorn is. So, the problem with Hevo here is... Look at this. It's 3 Phobies to, like, 1,000,000. There's, like, an entire army here. This is, like... I don't know, your local soccer team is hanging out here with that one big goon that's just a ringer. So maybe it's a hockey team. Like, this is the guy that just shows up to rec league hockey and just tries to start fights. Because he still thinks that, you know, his varsity jacket from high school fits, and he's just a bruiser, and he hates his job, and they just want to, you know, they just want to go punch people in the teeth. But the problem is their 2 buddies are playing in old man's league, and they don't have the legs they used to, so they can't quite get in the fight. So they actually have max Phobies in battle? Yes, they have max Phobies here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What I would have liked to have seen was the Sparky here, because then it threatens the Hevo immediately. What I expect is going to happen is this Hevo can come in, it's going to splash onto a bunch of stuff. Now, the problem is, for the Hevo player, they can't really do anything if they go in. So it's probably not necessary to threaten with the Sparky. Because if they go in, they might just die anyway. They're going to take like 800 here. This won't die. That makes it like 1,800, 2,100. Plus the Sparky hit. Yeah, this will be a dead Hevo if it goes in. So I guess it doesn't matter, ultimately. Having the Sparky swing towards the middle also allows it to interact with either side of the board, if you want it to. You got Snowball now? Nice, Forgo, grats. Have fun with the new puppy. Puppies are fun. So, because we have a 4-2 panic point advantage, what are we at heart-wise? 65-25 to 83-25. I mean, there's a lot of health still remaining on our blue player's heart, but they don't have to... Like, they don't have to commit right away. There's no real rush. I think we've seen people lose this map by keeping their carry unit on a stim out of the fight. Yeah, that's probably true, Luffy. We've definitely seen that in a variety of games where people just they're overprotective of their big unit. Now, understandably, you invested a lot of keys, you want to protect it, but the problem is you do need to get value out of it, and if you wait too long, it's, you know, your opponent has already done everything they needed to do, either to counter it or just take advantage of the board and pressure you in other ways. And I think that's kind of what's happening here. Now, I'm not real happy about the Sparky positioning. There's a potential for a yoink, but I imagine that our hero here probably counted it up. Probably counted up. So we get a cassowary takedown. Something was going to die. It was just a matter of what. I have no idea why this pull went down. Yes, we get the Gesundheit. Oh, we had a trap there too. That hurts. So this is probably a dead spider? Maybe not. 15 keys remaining. Oh my god. 20 keys total. Yeah, so this is going to be a dead spider. We'll get a little splash onto the Hevo. We get the sheep connection. We actually don't see the Sparky going after the Hevo, which I can understand because it would have been in range of getting hit 6 times. 2 from the Unbearable, 2 from Gesundheit, or Gesundheit from Ginsting, 2 from Hevo. And we get a high 5. Shout out to my heart punchers over here. Or heart slappers, I guess. It's really more of a slap, right? When he's just swinging it like a club. Now, ultimately, we're going to get some big splash going down here. Sparky's going to take a ton of damage. Ton of damage here. You hate to see it. Sparky did not connect with Hevo. And we get a fish tank. So all of a sudden, this doesn't look horrendous for our blue player. I mean, it's going to be a little challenging because the Unbearable's dead. Oh, they're both dead. Never mind. Because the Unbearable's clearly going to go down. This should not get it, but you could always come in with the high 5. And we get an erratic as the follow-up. At this point, this Clinico looks real bad. I mean, it can help out with the fish tank, but the fish tank can't charge in because of the erratic. And obviously, it could also heal the Hevo or the Ginsting, so it's not awful. I kind of feel as though this high 5 was, I'm in such a winning position that I'm going to do something fun. But it's now putting our orange player in a position where it could cost them the game. Until this happens. That high 5 is beelining for the heart. Like, look at this. You have to body block here. You have to body block this. Either with Clinico or the fish tank. It doesn't matter. You don't really have a choice, because if you allow that thing to connect, this game is going to end. Alright, so they elect to block with Hevo. Which is interesting. I wonder if you had blocked with the fish tank here and tanked the hits, would you have survived? Probably. Probably. Then you kill the high 5 and then run the fish tank away from the erratic? Because the erratic would have only gotten like 1 hit this turn. I think you could have trapped the fish tank, or the high 5 with the fish tank and killed it. I got a quest to do 6k damage with high 5. I'm going to lose a ton of games doing that. Probably. It's not going to be easy. Takes a lot of hits to kill a high 5. It would have been like 17, 21... it probably wouldn't have killed it unless you left the fish tank to trade. You know, like, you traded the fish tank for the high five, which I don't know that you want to do. High five coming in handy. Doesn't even need to punch the heart. Our orange player has been in control of these panic points for so many turns. It's incredible. Get a little Hevo splash damage going, but I don't think it's good enough. I don't think it's going to be good enough. Get a little clinico violence here. Chad, I can see how this one was won by our hero. I don't know. I don't think the Hevo paid off. I don't think the Hevo paid off. Just was not worth it. I don't know if it was because it dawdled too long down here, or if it just wasn't, like, there just wasn't anything feasible to do with it. Looks like High Five is dead. But so is our blue player. Tilted about the Sparky still? Why? Why? What about Sparky? Because it never connected with the Hevo? Honestly, I'm still of the opinion Sparky needs a buff. I think Sparky's pretty terrible, honestly. I just don't like it. It unbearable once and died for free. Yeah, the positioning there left something to be desired, but the trades ended up favoring our hero, so I guess in the end it was fine. But the Sparky could have been put to much better use. Definitely could have been put to much better use. Granted, if it dove in anywhere, it probably would have died. Primate buff? I don't think Primate needs to be buffed. If it does, I don't think it needs to be buffed by much. The problem, this isn't a problem. I'm phrasing that wrong. Hold on, let me fix this in Discord, and then we'll go through this so I can focus on what I'm saying. It needs more damage to be compared to Casso. It needs more... I don't think it needs more damage. So, I don't remember... Like, do I have Cassowary and Jar on the same level? This is level 10. This is level 10. 545. So, if I recall correctly, Primate does the identical amount of damage to Cassowary. I think at all levels, Primate is identical to Cassowary. If that's true, then it one-shots a Jar on level and may actually exceed it. Like, if a Jar is 1 level higher or 2 levels higher, I'd have to double-check. The thing is that these breakpoints, like, if we say Primate needs a buff, what does it need buffed? More damage? Okay, so if it, let's say more damage. What breakpoint does it hit now that it didn't before? Now, there's always going to be weird breakpoints, right? There's going to be a ton of weird... It's equal level to one-shot Jar for all of those? Okay, cool. Does it... If the Jar is 1 level higher, does it suddenly survive everything? I don't know the exact number. But there's always going to be weird breakpoints, getting back to what I was trying to say, where, oh, well, a Flopsy hit plus a Bowmangles hit means that this other thing dies. It's like, okay, great. Most of the time, you're going to be concerned with... Now, that may be relevant if it's common phobies. It's like, okay, well, these two things, like a Jar plus whatever, kills a Murder Wing. Or a Snowball plus something kills this other thing. Those are relevant combo breakpoints because they are both commonly used phobies on the other side, commonly used phobies that you're going to use a lot, and they also have the opportunity, like, you could surprise somebody with a Jar, or you could just threaten it and there's nothing they can do due to the range. Same story with, like, well, a Murder Wing into something or a Snowball into something, that sort of stuff. The rest of them, for the most part, I'm more concerned with, okay, a Cassowary on equal level one-shots a Jar. A Murder Wing at X levels will one-shot a Jar. Now, again, we're putting aside this the scenario where everybody's max level, because we're all 1,000 years away from this, except for a handful of players, so I'm not really worried about it. But for the rest of these, it's going to come down to, can you hit some, you know, like, what's the reasonable scenario? And for Primate, if it's on par level, it's going to get a jar, which is probably not what you want it to do, because you're trading down. It's like, great, I killed something lower level, then it dies, I'm trading key negative. The thing about this is that it is a somewhat sturdy Phobie. I'd have to look at, again, the level 1 stats or see, because it's tough to say, well, mine is 1,500 health. That's not great for a 4 key. But if it was level 10, maybe it's fine. Fine. It's an undead, so it's going to have lower overall health anyway. But the leap is incredibly useful. The leap is incredibly useful, and I'm very curious if Primate specifically is going to be one of those niche Phobies where, say on Phobos, I don't know that this is the answer. This could be completely wrong. Or, you know, completely off base. I'm just giving you the theory here. Let's say you zone into Phobos. We've been talking about this since the map came into rotation. Well, basically last night, and then Discord between last night and today. And now. That Phobos seems just, like, atrociously bad if you go second. What if Primate is one of those things you need to try and fight it? Because you could stay out of range, walk in, and then leap onto something. So, like, you can threaten that 3 range. You know what I mean? Like, or, well, 4, I guess. Like, you move 2 and then leap. I don't know. You could do that with a regular ranged thing, but there aren't too many, aside from Jin Sting, that can... like, you can do that at this cost. Because that's the other comparison. Is, yes, you could have an Inoculus, but it's super frail. So maybe it can't get into range. You know, I'm not convinced that Primate is so bad that it has to be buffed yet. It might be. It might be, but I don't have a high enough level to even real... like, I can't run it in the games that I play because it will 100% be crap. It's just statistically too bad. I guess my frustration is really that I need like 5 different Phobies to be able to one-tap jar. Yeah, I mean, they all serve different purposes. So it depends on the scenario. Depends on what you're willing to do. Bowmangles has exactly enough damage to one-shot equal level jar, by the way. If that scenario happens, that's really weird. Like, when is Bowmangles going to get up on a jar? That's really weird if that happens. I mean, anything's possible. But Cassowary, Primate, Alligator, Pterodactyl, and some others all have the same damage at the same level, but it's a different scale. Just happens to be enough to one-shot equal level jar, but for most of them, who cares? Yeah, that's fair. I mean, for 1, 2, at least, like, out of those 4 that you named, obviously, aside from some others, Cassowary, Primate, and Pterodactyl are all reasonable, more or less, reasonable answers to jar. Because the Pterodactyl has a high set of mobility, Cassowary costs less than it, and both Cassowary and Primate have a leap, so they can, like, extend their range. Whereas Alligator can't really do any of those. It's just unlikely that Alligator's actually going to get up on a jar. My Bowmangles has killed many jars. I mean, really? I don't doubt you, but that seems really surprising that people expose it that much. Give Cerberus a leap? God help us. Here's your leap. Here's your Cerberus leap. It's right here. I'm telling you, that change to the quest system was awful. Like, they need to bring that back. Especially in light of extending the Phobie levels. I don't see any reason that they need to prevent quests from being completed in frenemies. When you're required, like, the amount, I don't know if somebody sat and calculated it, but I remember it being a year to get to max stress level. I think. I have no idea what it requires in order to hit max Phobie level. Or make the quest reasonable like they said they would. What did they say they were going to do, though? I think I missed that one. I mean, they have to tie... The way the system is currently designed, and when I say the system, I mean, like, everything. They kind of have to have these unique quests per phobie, right? Like, kill X things with this phobie. Whether it's in general, it's specific types, recap certain points. That way that they can award you specific phobie upgrades. I think it needs to be more generic, like... It would take a massive overhaul of the system to do something like this, but have wildcard upgrades, essentially. So you have wildcard upgrades that are, like, based on rarity or something. So, say... The quest is, like, cap X points with a common phobie. So you can do it with any common phobie, and then you get rewarded wildcard upgrades that then can be applied to a different phobie. Whether that works or not, like, systemically, I don't know. I don't know, they said vague stuff about fixing quests to make them less difficult when they took frenemy quests away, but maybe it was just appeasement. They did remove the quest to cap panic points with Charon. That would have felt awful. That would have felt absolutely horrendous. I know they're going to poison this, but we're just going to slam a muffin on the board. So this will allow us to eliminate everything they have on the board, as well as cap some points or a point, and then maybe get the muffin in range. I'm not sure. We'll probably end up taking one hit on the stabby. They could just spit and run away, though. So we will kill this. Like, we'll move the cowbell down. Be 1,000. Come on, we want to probably do this. At least I think we kill it. Maybe we don't. Oh, we don't. Good God. Oof. That probably dies to a jar. I don't think they can kill our stabby. They might be able to, but that necessitates, like, hitting it with their jar. They could hit it with their own snowball, I guess. So, like, they hit it twice here, then they snowball. Shish kebab the creep. Snowball the creep, we could have done that too. But they're electing to play it safe. They just bees and walk away. I don't know that that's worth it. So we're going to have to back Stabby off to here in order to get the muffin onto it. The muffin will put it at decent health, but not great. The problem is that opens up a turn where our opponent can get in on us. I don't even know that it's worth muffining this thing at this stage, but we're gonna do it. Yet another thing that I do need to level. I kind of feel like we bank. We could go like another one and then go for our own Gin Sting. But this allows us to see what they do next turn and react to it. We're gonna have to back off soon. Like, honestly, maybe sending this in wasn't worth it. It's obviously going to die, but maybe just letting it hang around the periphery so that way we could get some extra damage would be good. I imagine that Muffin is one of the ones where level doesn't matter. Yes and no, because as it levels, that's how much the healing is. You know, like, the Muffin heals based on whatever, or equal to its health. Like, mine's 583, so it heals 583. That is relevant. You know, like, the heal is not insignificant. Yes, it's primarily for poison, but it's not like you don't care about the heal. I think we just kill this? No, we can't, right? Yeah, it's a... There's no way. Can't reach. If we were here, swing here, I think this is fine. So they could kill the cassowary. They could go here and then here. So like we trade the cassowary for the for this, which I think is fine. This game state looks so similar to some of my game states. This map kind of... I don't want to say the map is solved. But as it stands right now, almost every game I play on Red Rum revolves around... Oh, well, I have... almost virtually every game revolves around the idea that one player has stabby, the other player has... You know, they're trying to respond to the stabby with, like, bow mangles or whatever. This is not good. This is real bad. Good morning, welcome, welcome. I don't like this. I'm just kind of trying to force an Oculus here. We have, I don't know, 1 or 2 turns before I'm going to start getting worried health-wise. They're going to catch up quick. But an Oculus is obviously super duper slow. We don't really have stuff to recap points. Like, they could back off and guard these. So it's going to take another turn of making 1-drops and 2-drops to try and recap things. The jar is now super vulnerable because it dies to a single hit from just about anything. That's why I backed it off to this corner. If we put it up here, it might have been worth leaving it here, actually, because then if we baited the Jin Sting in, maybe we get it. But I guess this is fine. We're going to get it with this anyway. I don't think we can get these 2 this turn, though. There's almost no way we can. Oh my god, this thing lives. Get out of here. Alright, no problem, Jenna. Thanks for coming by, saying hello. I wonder if we could have killed this instead and been better off. I don't know. Our opponent banked to 6 keys, by the way. Which is kind of scary. You know, there's a lot of mean things. They still have 9 keys available. We're going to lose our Jin Sting, so, like, we don't have a very good board position at all. Currently doing a giant mech D&D battle, so I may not respond here as much. No problem, Maximus. Wait, a mech D&D battle? I didn't even realize there were mechs in D&D. Like I said earlier, I don't play D&D, so I don't know. Yeah, this is bad, because, like, we can't kill this and the Jin Sting. Hey, Hondo, what's good? It's a little bit more altered. It sounds like it. It sounds like there might be a few different things. A few things that are different. Can we kill this? Nice. Okay. 261. Alright. That seems okay. The rest of this seems bad, though. The rest of this seems pretty bad. Do we go with Eternal Night? Alright, we stem the bleeding. They still have 3 more keys. Somehow our Innocuous and Damage Jar need to get through this and something else, which, like, it's not happening. Just do a funny and pull a snake out? I mean, I guess we could. Alright, so this is a dead cassowary. I'd be happy with that. Alright, Jar is the final piece of the puzzle here. There. Protect the jar. Protect the jar. So they can't leap on this and kill it and get out. I mean, they can leap on it and kill it, I guess. But that's not what we're going for. So if we go here... I don't know if that materially changes anything. Like, what if we put this here? It prevents Jar from going here. I don't know. We'll see how this does. I don't really know here. They should have gone Sucky for the meme, get all 3 chargers. That would be awesome. The Leap Gang. The Bourbon Monkey number 9 about to jump. It's true. It's happening. Hey, player, what's good? Wheels game. Yep. That doesn't seem like what you want to do. I guess the idea here is that I have to reclaim this somehow. If they eliminate enough of my... like, if it's just Jar and Innocuous against Primate, they win, I think. Because I don't think I can burn it down quickly enough. 17, so... yeah, we need, like... They might even tank through it all. I don't know. Got him? Get him, boys. So they could go and get the jar. And then it's, well, I guess it doesn't matter. Well, it matters whether they end up here or here. Okay, so they're going to leap and they'll end up here. So we can't kill it. So now it's just a race. Can we kill this thing before something else heinous happens? I went south so that way they couldn't swing through the bottom here, but I don't know if that's actually what we wanted, because if they kill this, it's going to pull it here. It'll still be in range, though, and it's going to take damage, so I guess it doesn't matter. Literally 1 health. Literally 1 health. GG. GG. Well played. Honestly, real talk chat, I only won that game because of levels. I think I out-leveled Wheels, and I think that's the only reason I won. I mean, Wheels has a higher stress level, but their cassowary was underleveled, their jar seemed to be underleveled. I feel like I didn't deserve that win. A regular Thursday. Alright, chat. Let's do some game reviews. Let's get through some more. So what else do people think is going to get nerfed or buffed? Honestly, so here's another, they had a higher level jar by a lot, did they? I thought the jar was only like 400 health. Maybe I looked at it too quickly, or it was after it was damaged or something. So 292 damage. Okay, I wasn't looking at the damage output. That's not a lot, though. I'm at like 279, so it's probably only a few levels, right? What was I going to say? So, we don't know what the smoking gun philosophy is as far as nerfs and buffs go. Because if anybody recalls, early on in, for example, Hearthstone's lifespan, they were hell-bent on never buffing cards. Like, I'm pretty sure they actually made the statement that they would never buff anything. Never being relative, but, like, they had no plans to ever buff anything. They only wanted to nerf things. So that way, it was something weird with, like, maintaining the collectability in the game and that kind of crap. It's more psychologically, it has two elements. One, psychologically, it causes problems when you have too many changes. People come back, and it's actually a egress point for people with games. This is a general game thing where not only do you want things to be appropriately balanced because you want them to be appropriately balanced, you want them to be appropriately balanced because when you have to make adjustments, the vast majority of the player base will not only not know, they won't care, and they're just going to zone in, play a game, and wonder why their stuff doesn't work the way it used to. Even if it's buffed, it's still going to be like, hey, that's weird, what happened? Like, they get thrown off. Obviously, odds are you're going to react more positively when your stuff is buffed, unless, in the case of Phobies, like, hey, I have my Jin Sting, they have their Jin Sting, but their Jin Sting is suddenly better than I remember. Why? You know, that sort of thing. It wouldn't really work if you had both on the table, but you get the idea. Like, there's a phobia you've seen before, and then suddenly it's better on the other side. Nerfs obviously feel bad, but in both cases, when things change, people just don't like change. So, that's the psychological aspect of it. Now, I do have an interview that I requested, and one of the questions that I had in there, and I don't know if they're going to answer this, is will they ever have different packs? As in, like, a set pack. You know, we got full disclosure. So let's assume there's a Halloween event. It would make sense, right? Like, we don't know if there's going to be a Halloween event, but it seems pretty fitting. I realized the sound was very loud. I hope that wasn't drowning me out the whole time. If they had they hit 400 Phobies, let's say, would they ever introduce a set pack? Like, this is the Halloween set pack. You can only get these Phobies from this pack. Whatever this fourth one would be. Wherever it gets positioned. They probably have one of each. Tier pack and a coffee pack. Maybe only coffee. Because otherwise, if we look at the game a year from now, how difficult is it going to be for a new player to, like... It's going to be even more challenging than it is today to try and get specific things, I guess, is where I'm going with it. Because there's going to be even more Phobies diluting your acquisition of any particular card. It's just going to be that much more difficult. Now, they kind of have a way to sidestep that through the stress levels, but as discussed, unless we introduce the idea that somebody in chat brought up of allowing you to choose what your next stress unlock is, which honestly, I don't see them ever doing that. I wonder if, you know, we're at stress level 300 and, like, it's just not feasible. Like, somebody who joins the game in July of 2023, it's like, it might as well be 1,000 years away. You're just never going to get there, kind of thing. Not never, but it just feels that way. What about a specific race pack, like Undead Pack, Dimensional Pack, Mechanical Pack, Monster Pack? That would be interesting. I think something like that should exist. Now, truthfully, I don't think they would ever introduce free currency for those sort of things. It's not impossible. Well, first of all, they'd probably have to redo the store. Honestly, it's kind of annoying scrolling through like this through the avatars, and if you ended up with packs where it goes on for 1,000 miles, because you're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling like that, it's just going to be annoying, especially on mobile. I think if that happens, you need more Phobies in game. The way they could do it is by just making it coffee, because then it, like, yes, it's pay to win. There's already that element, A. It's making it worse, I guess, but not egregiously so. And they benefit from it. I think that people would probably... I would like to believe people would respond more positively to that than just other quote-unquote cash grab things. Not saying they are, but like how the community would view it. Sounds like overkill. I'm okay with the current packs, but would you be okay with the current packs if we had 400 Phobies? Like, if we literally doubled the... Well, I guess it would be more than double. Even if we doubled the collection size. Now, realistically, if we got a release of 13 Phobies every quarter, we're still only looking at, what, like another 39 Phobies? Counting full disclosure. But another 39 Phobies means that it's pretty difficult to, like... I don't know. It keeps coming back to, I hope they do something to address the economy. But the thing is, you have a higher chance of getting an ultra rare by getting dimensional packs, since those are disproportionate. Are you saying there are more dimensional ultra rares? I mean, they could just tweak the numbers and be like, your ultra rare chances are lower than the other packs. Like, the math could be changed, but... See, the problem, part of the reason I bring this up is from playing Runestrike. So Runestrike is a card game. People have seen me stream it here before. The way their system works is you can buy currency to get packs, or there's the in-game currency to generate to get packs. So basically tiers and coffee, right? They call it emeralds there and gold. Shocker. But when each season, which for them is like 45 days instead of 4 weeks, each season there's a new release of stuff. And in that, there's, you know, like 8 to 15 cards. I forget how... It's probably like 12 to 15. I forget how many exactly. If you get the the subscription model, you're guaranteed to get all the cards. If you don't get the subscription, you just have a chance at getting all the cards, but odds are you don't. After that season expires, those cards are then craftable, and they can also be opened in regular packs as opposed to the seasonal pack. The problem is, for a new player now, the base set is just hundreds of cards, so getting any particular thing is very challenging. But that game does offer a crafting system, so you have a way to circumvent all of this. The challenge here is what happens when Phobies, when you have no way to get a specific phobie, either to acquire it in general or to level it up, other than luck of the draw. I think that's really going to feel awful, especially for new people when they come into the game late. Another 20 got me Stairmaster and Wooly Bully. Get this one, neither are you. Resurrect. Sorry, Forgo. The Resurrect, it's like a magnet. Just, you know, reversing polarity, I guess. It's going the other way. It's getting away from you. Got Grimes and Russell profile pick. Nice. Nice. But then you might have every non-ultra rare dimension already, since there's not a lot of those. True. But if that's the case, you could end up with tons and tons of duplicates. I'm curious what will happen, like, say you max out a Phobie, you get Contortio to 20. Can you even get Contortio upgrades anymore? I guess Karth and Vladimir would know, because they were probably max level before Full Disclosure dropped. They have to have had something, right? Someone got Leshy in a 3000 tier pack? Well, you can... Oh, no, Leshy's not a stress unlock, right? Leshy's just a regular card. I mean, you can definitely get them. It's just the odds are very poor. Alright, let's take a look at whatever the next game review is. Alright, so we're zoning into another viewer-submitted game on Crypto. Everybody submitting games on Crypto. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind. And by the way, if you want to get your own games reviewed, hit up the Random Thoughts Discord. It'll be in the YouTube description of this video. Or hit up the live stream, RTChompGG, over on Twitch. It's a lot of fun. Just ask chat. They like laughing at me. But anyway. So we get relatively standard openers. We get the delayed Gravedigger cap here. As we've been discussing, the better opener here is to cap the point, then pull back and blow up the block. But the Gesundheit here, I'm not a huge fan. I know a lot of people try it out. I'm not super sold on it. Won't be able to watch tonight, but hope you had a great stream. See you in async. All right, Savanas. Thanks for coming by. So we're getting the build up here. We do have dueling unicorns. Unicorn has become somewhat of a regular on this map, because it allows for the ability to either set up traps, obviously, or deal with your opponent's traps. But we get a Quagmire that gets locked off by this Gravedigger. Since we have the tiny key advantage, aka 2 1 keys for our hero in the blue trunks, that means that even though this cat is not long for the world, it's going to get replaced by the Bachelor. And the Bachelor is going to be even more hilarious, because while it's going to pull something onto the point, the Unicorn means that it's going to get softened up immediately. Hey! Chat. You'll love to see it. Got a little Tickles act. Time out. Look at this picture. And look at Tickles. Look at this picture and look at Tickles. Like, Tickles needs some eye drops or something, because that's... So, either that or Tickles has seen some things. Tickles has seen some things. So, Tickles is gonna... we get the little Tickle spin. So, Tickles is clearly going to absorb some traps. He has no maiden's eyes. Or eye, true. That could be true, Wanda. Alright, so Tickles is going to eat this trap, which is actually a cool animation, if I remember correctly. So we're going to zoom in. Get a little spin. Whoop! Boom. Just eats up that trap. Nom 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 nom. So there are no notes from this match, so we don't know if there's anything in particular that's super cool that's happening, other than Tickles showing up. Like, you'll love to see the Tickles, right? So we don't know where the orange players' traps are, but we have to imagine that there's a couple out there at this point. But that is, in fact, a dead unicorn. This is a good play. This is a good setup of plays to eliminate both the 1 key and the unicorn, recap both points, and all of a sudden our orange player's in a big hole. Now, they banked to 8, so I have to imagine a beauty? Question mark? Oh, does that happen, Onda? If you click on Tickles, the eye gets bigger? That's pretty cool. Or the pupil does? That's pretty cool. So what are the 4 keys getting invested in? A level 1 Hydra. Question mark? I wonder if Tickles is an alien pufferfish? I mean, that's an interesting theory. Alright, somebody get Gravedigger a hard hat, because my man is going construction mode here. Like, look at this. First a little demo, then a little construction. And we get a Zappy. Everyone's favorite bug zapper. Yeah, level 1 Hydra is a big question mark for me. I don't understand this. But this is a 32-turn game, chat, so we got a long one. Or a long-ish one. You get upgrade cards with new Phobie drops? I don't know what that means. He looks like one of those spiky mollusks. Tickles does, you mean? I guess. So level 1 is a deliberate choice to not upgrade even though you can. But why? I get... The level 1 is... Like, having a level 1 Phobie I don't think is the issue. I think the issue is why... Why... play it here. Like, I don't understand what the purpose of the Hydra is. I don't really understand this Hevo either into the Zappy. Like, you're gonna have to dive here, and now our orange player's out of keys. Oh, I see what you're saying. In packs, new Phobies come with a few upgrade cards. Yes, so they were actively choosing not to upgrade it. Yeah, that makes sense. So we get a dive from Ray Chargels. It's clearly gonna die. Like, there's no hope here. We do free the Hydra, though, although it's not long for this world. This is... I don't know if our orange player is seeing the writing on the wall, or, like, what is happening here, but everything is all up on our blue player. Now, granted, their army has kind of evaporated to a degree, but I expect the orange army to do the same shortly. So down goes Ray Chargels. Get some shots in on Quagmire here, who is standing on the lava. So it negates some of the healing. And everyone's favorite, it's Misanthrope. Even though we're not Misanthrope's favorite. Which I just realized Misanthrope's, like, claws, hands, whatever, are different on the Phobie as compared to on the artwork. This has three prongs on each hand. This one's 2 and 3, which makes more sense for it to, like, go together. I don't know. They didn't upgrade it probably because they didn't have enough XP and wanted to upgrade something else. Oh, like I said, I don't fault the non-upgrade. I just don't quite understand Hydra in this scenario unupgraded entirely. Regardless, Hydra goes down without doing a whole hell of a lot. Now, we do have Panic Point Advantage Orange, though, and honestly, this doesn't look fantastic. It's Zappy plus Misanthrope plus a Stairmaster against Hevo, Gesundheit, and Quagmire, who is now in position. Weird decision, they killed neither Hydra or Quaggy, yeah. I mean, they eventually got the Hydra, but yeah. It's possible to not have the XP, but it's like 1k XP to upgrade to level 2. It's spare change compared to other upgrades. Exactly, that's absolutely true. It's 100% a conscious decision. I know this is kind of like an irrelevant point to a degree, but, you know. Alright, so we're going to see the takedown here on the Gazun type. And then a reposition from the Zappy. So it'll be able to zap the Hevo, which is probably going to go on the stem. The invade here seems pretty successful. There were no traps laying around from the orange player. So down goes Misanthrope, but this is going to be an enormous amount of damage. Unless, I assume we get a retreat here, honestly. Yeah, it has 1600 health. Wait. I can't click on the Stairmaster. Yeah, this would have been short. It would have been short, and then you just lose everything, basically. But they do go in with the Zappy. Granted, there's the reflect damage, so you can't just simply go after it. This is very interesting. Like, I kind of get it. The idea here is that you'll recap this point. Hevo's still in range to fight the Zappy, but the Zappy is now on the stem. How can you possibly dislodge this thing? Well, it's turn 30 of 32, so I think the correct answer is you don't. The correct answer is you do not dislodge it. In fact, this is going to be ball game. We annihilate the Hevo. Get a recap of the panic point. And we're going to get the GG pretty soon. By pretty soon, I mean this turn. GG. Thanks for submitting the game. This is pretty cool. Got to see some different Phobies show up, namely Zappy. You don't see it very often. I'm not a huge fan of Zappy, but here it absolutely worked out very well. Definitely was the appropriate response to what we were saying. Again, we were beating up the Hydra a lot, but I just don't understand why level 1 Hydra? I don't care about it being level 1, but if it's level 1, why are you playing it? You had 8 keys banked. There had to be something better, right? I don't know. Alright, chat. Let's get one more in, then we'll play a game. We get a VAZY game. Get a VAZY game. We might have looked at this one, honestly. Like, I might have had it as a, when I was taking a break the other night. I feel like oh my god, with these crypto games. My best tactic with Chuck versus Dragon's best tactic with Octonauty on crypto. Yeah, that's exactly it, DT. I understand not leveling a given phobie, but not leveling something you're going to use is weird. Does Zappy deal the most damage among the 6 costs? I don't know. Yeah, I can't escape the map crypto. Like, it's incredible. How many crypto games have we done so far? It's kind of a meme now. It's kind of a meme now. So I know VAZY is very much known for Chuck. We were watching that Claws game last night on this map. But I didn't know Dragon was known for Octonauty. Yeah, Cerberus dealing the most damage probably makes sense. And we get the inevitable bank. You know what's coming. And we get the Octonauty here right off the bat. Maybe not right off the bat, but pretty quickly. Pretty quickly. Is Blondie 6 cost? You meant range, that's fair. I don't know, does Zappy do base more damage than Erratic? I don't know offhand. I mean, the reflect changes it, so. Alright, well, we got the Chuck, or we're gonna see the Chuck. You get the block here. Big shock. You get a little Chuck action. Chat, I'm not gonna be unhappy when crypto rotates out again. I'm not gonna be unhappy, and honestly, because we have the new maps coming in, we already got Phobos now. I expect the other, like, 2 next time, and then 2 after that. I think there were 5 total. So we're gonna have a few weeks of new maps. It's gonna be a while before we see crypto again. I'm kind of okay with that. So we get a yoink right away, which allows for the kill on the Bachelor without any damage. It's interesting to utilize that so quickly, but, you know, you might as well. You're going to have to wait until Chuck is in position for something to happen anyway. And at this stage, we're just playing the battle of the 1 keys. You know, we have to trade out 1 keys over and over again. Absolutely for our blue player, because there's not much they can do until... Ooh! We get a smiley. This is a pretty good Chuck answer. This is a pretty good answer to Chuck. Plus, with Octonaughty, you can... oh, you don't want to stand next to Smiley? Well, you're making a new friend whether you want to or not. One of the odd things, though, is I mean, there's probably a trap on the lava just because you can. But I'm surprised the unicorn isn't down here. Or where this Hevo is. You know, now the Hevo's there, but... just so that you can get traps in other more realistic areas. Realistic isn't something's actually going to stand there. Now it's too late. Zappy is base damage. Wait, like 500 in level 1? I didn't realize it did that much damage. So again, the reposition from the Gravedigger. I imagine we're going to see another block go down so that way we can set up a funnel for everything to have to fight through Chuck. 500 level 1 for Zappy. That's pretty bonkers. That's a lot. That's a lot of damage. So I guess the big question here is, how are you going to get the Smiley to actually connect? Because now this Smiley is at 1500 health. That's still a decent amount. Yep, here's the block. So now everything has to funnel through this chokehold. VAZY kind of has this down to a science. 500 damage plus 300 electric at level 1. That's a lot of damage. I have some newfound respect for, oh, excuse me, I told you I was tired. For Zappy. Construction mode is right. Putting on that hard hat and going to work. I really don't know how I'm the only one who thinks so. Well, honestly, DT, I didn't realize it did that much damage. I probably knew and forgot, truthfully. So, despite the Smiley, like, this Octonaughty did basically nothing. The Octonaughty did basically nothing. It pulled, what, the Bachelor? It pulled the Hevo and then didn't kill it? Or, like, the death didn't come in? At this point, 0 keys to 1 key remaining. Like, I don't know what the hell our blue player does. I mean, they need to get Smiley to connect with Chuck, but even if they do, it's way too far out. Like, you could have the Smiley connect and it might not even matter, because it'll take too long. But, in fact, Smiley does go down because, realistically, this Chuck cannot be challenged at this stage. Like, yes, there's poison on the Gravedigger and the Unicorn. I'll take Chuck on a stim and control the panic points against what you have. Weird push. I mean, they had to do something at some point. So was that the optimal push? Obviously not. Or maybe it was optimal, but there's not much else you could have done, you know what I mean? Realistically, when this block went down here, I think the game was over, because there's no way you can funnel through this choke. I like the idea of Smiley as a Chuck response, but Chuck is not AoE like Beauty. So in this case, it's actually a benefit, because you can't attach something to Smiley's hip and just walk them up the aisle. It comes down to the fact that Chuck is able to snipe stuff, and you needed the Octonaughty to connect. And I don't know how you make that happen. I think you needed your own Gravedigger. You needed to break this block, and then have, like, you needed Octonaughty here, like, either in this spot, between the healing spot and the lava tile, or the same one on the other side. Break the block, walk in, yoink, and then blow up Chuck somehow. Maybe Foul is a better answer to Chuck? I would agree. Now, I don't have Smiley or Foul, so I don't know, but, you know. I don't know why this thing is backing off. If there wasn't an opportunity to summon a unit, the push was Huge Brain. We know how this is going to end. Like, Hevo's just going to blow up, so I want to go back to that turn. Was it this turn? So they yoink here. Oh, because of the body block, you're saying? Yeah. Well, I'm assuming Chad is saying that the canine here, because of the body block, is able to prevent the Smiley from going in, but, like, they could have just moved... Did they need the... Like, the unicorn could have body blocked as well. But even if it connected, like, say Chuck gets disease, it has 2200 health. I mean, it's taking 454 a turn. That'll go down pretty quick. Maybe it would have been okay if Smiley connected there. It definitely would have gotten dicey the way we know that this game ended up. Because the Chuck probably would have been dead long before this. Or if not dead, pretty close. Like, the Hevo probably is able to fight it. Unicorn could have died. It's possible. It's possible. But I think that was a really good heads-up play, so I'm glad chat pointed it out by VAZY in order to body block here. Prevent the Smiley from getting in and doing anything. But, I mean, Chuck does mean things on this map. Chuck does mean things on this map. GG. Well played, VAZY. Well played. So we'll play a game, and then I'll probably take a break, get some more water, trying to stay hydrated. Like I said, I haven't been great about my hydration this week, so I want to try and catch up. I have a random toy on my desk. This is a Scraplet from Transformers Prime, although it didn't come from that toy line. Transformers Prime, I think, introduced them. They're basically vermin for Transformers, except they're actually, like, threats to the Transformers, because they're kind of like walking piranhas, but piranhas from, like, remember those bad horror movies in the 80s where, like, there was a horror movie for virtually every carnivore on the planet, and they were all terrible movies, and I'm pretty sure one of them was piranhas, but, like, it would be like one of those horror movies. I don't understand the obsession over hydration because it's important. It is, like, really important. Plus, I'm also just dehydrated. Is it more important when you get... It's important at all points in your life. I mean, I played sports as a kid, so, like, I needed to drink way more water than I did. But, for example, well, I just drink water whenever and I'm fine. It depends on the quantity of water. When I say hydration, like... I've mentioned this before. When I was a kid, I almost never drank water. Which is not good. Like, it's not healthy. And as a result, I mean, I think I am genetically predisposed to kidney stones anyway. Alright, Izumi, thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. But one of the major things to solve kidney stones and prevent them is drinking water so that you can properly flush your kidneys. And if you have not had a kidney stone, You don't want them, trust me. I think drinking water with ice just make you feel thirsty easier. Maybe it's just me. Maybe. I don't know if that's really the case. I just like it better. Like, I like the cold drink. Plus, it's also, like... Where's my... It's... According to this, 52% humidity. It had a high of 76% humidity at some point today. There's also a high of 100 degrees at one point today. But that's also... down here by my PC and stuff, so, like, there's other stuff, you know. Yeah, it's happened to me a few times, player. I've been through it on multiple times. I have some... as funny of a story as you can get out of that. I think I've told those stories on stream before. Because I don't, like, it doesn't bother me talking about that sort of stuff. What do we do here? We probably go 2-on-1 to try and fight everything. So if this goes here... We don't want that to get caught by the electric cat. This will allow us to collapse on them. You never know you tell the story before. I haven't told it in a while. I might, like, I'll do it in between or something like that. I usually tell it, like, it's a... I mean, it's funny to me. I don't know if anybody else thinks it's that amusing, but... Yeah, short version is, no. You don't want kidney stones. If you're watching this on YouTube, you don't want kidney stones. Drink water. Trust me. I have mentioned before, like, I used to drink a lot of soda. I've all but 100% cut it out of my diet. Like, I'll have a soda once a month, basically. And not even the whole thing. You know, we get McDonald's on the drive back from something because, you know, there isn't enough time to cook or we just don't feel like it or whatever. So we get McDonald's, I'll have like a couple sips of the soda, and that's about it. Because I really do love soda, but I have to give it up both for diabetes reasons, and soda is a really good way to get kidney stones. So they're going to slide down here and connect with the Henrietta. So I think we do this. I feel like I need another 2-drop that I like to use, because right now I don't have one that I'm real comfortable with. This, I guess, is fine. I don't like this positioning. Would we rather go a 1-drop? I want to get Ginsting online. Anti-kidney stone activist? True. I do not recommend them. My mother always said, if you sit for a very long time, drink so much water. It is, like, I'm sitting here doing nothing, basically. And, like, it is important to make sure that you're hydrating. Just start using Sucky. I need to level Sucky, honestly. I think it's only a level 4. I legitimately do want to try it, because there might be something there. It's exceptionally unlikely, but I guess it's not impossible. Alright, so we're going to lose a bunch of Phobies here. It's just a question of which ones. Oh, we can't kill this. Holy crap. This thing has 800 health. I didn't look at it. It's a level 9 Henrietta. I mean, we can beat it up and then occupy this space. Henrietta, level 10, has 825 hit points. It's a lot. It's a lot of health. I don't know that we actually want to kill that, to be honest. I was gonna go Ginsting. I think we still go Ginsting, but I was tempted for a moment to go with Innocuous. Truthfully, Innocuous feels incredibly Feast or Famine. Innocuous feels super Feast or Famine. Like, there are games where I get an Innocuous on the board, and my opponent can just do nothing. And I think it's more the fear that's induced by it. As in, my opponent is like, oh my god, there's a 3-range Phobie on the board. I have to do something. But they don't know what. And as a result, they end up having, like, they end up in a bad position. Alright, so they're gonna Bees and kill both of these. In the end, everybody goes Ginsting? True. I actually want to start trying to use Sucky just to see if it's actually worthwhile or not, but it never feels like the right time to risk it. I've decided that I'm just going to throw games. Now, I'm not saying, like, I'm throwing games left and right on ladder. I'm going to try to win the games, but I'm just accepting that the losses are going to happen. This is weird. Like, you could hit it and walk away, and maybe live to poison something else. I don't know. I mean, this now dies, but... We're keeping this alive just so that way I can run it onto another point later on. They banked to 6. That's kind of scary. That's kind of scary. I don't know that this leap with the Cassowary is worth it. It's clearly going to die. I don't even know that we can punish the Canine coming in. Alright, so they swing the Canine in now. Oh, they don't. That's weird. Yeah, actually, since I didn't really play most of the week, I should just spam meme games to catch back up to see what I need for the season pack. I mean, that's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. We need to somehow do like 900 to this. So we need 600 out of spawn. I don't think that's happening. I guess we could. We could go... We go Innocuous. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's not going to work. So, well, then we could do that. But we can't reach it with a 2. We have to go, like, Snowball. Either Murder Wing Snowball or Snowball Jar. So the Boo Fairy can't kill the Ginsting, and they can't reach it, so we have time to get away. If they try to invade and power it down, we can soften up the Boo Fairy and then walk away. I think Innocuous is very good in like and subscribe. We have to get rid of obstacles first. That could be true. That could be true. I forgot about that map. I think it's Miss Cha is doing the like map tier list by, or the Phobie tier list by map, which I think is a good idea. Like, I really like that idea. We're actually going to put him here. Because if they try and kill this thing for freezies, they could just do it with a jar, though. They kill it with a jar, they walk up, they power down the Gin Sting. Let's force them into it, I guess. I don't know. You got something new? You got something cooking, DT? Gonna take forever with the new maps and rotations. Most of them are big maps. Yeah. It's kind of how I'd expect it to go. This is weird. Like, why have this thing in range? Because you're gonna walk the murder wing up? You have to put the murder wing here if you want it to threaten the jar. Okay, they're not interested in threatening the jar? This is interesting. Oh, you just love that map? I hated that map. I hated that map so much. Can we just kill this? Huh. They're gonna kill the Gin Sting. There's nothing we can do about that. If we had left it back here, we would have been better off, but we didn't. You know what we could have done, though? We could have ran a snowball up here to body block. So they kind of have to respect the cowbell. Alright, they're going to kill it with this. That's fair. They could elect instead to kill the murder wing. But I imagine they're going to kill the Gin Sting. There's, like, no reason not to. Virtually no reason. I wonder if we could have... No, we wouldn't have had enough damage if we hit this as the primary target for bees. Ha! Chad, I'm gonna go for the Jackalope King. I'm not even trolling. I'm going for it. Because that'll allow this... Because I think it gets like a plus 115. How often do you see this happen? Get him! Get him! You love to see it. The pack attack. It's happening! It's so dumb. It's so good. Like, and what's funny is, like, this is actually a threat. They have to respect it, because if they don't eliminate... I mean, there's not much they can do, right? Like, let's be real. What are they going to do at this stage? Bone power. Always wondered if something like that would happen. I've done it before. Like, it comes... I think I've done it, like, maybe twice before, but it happens every once in a while. I wonder, again, DT's the master of the numbers. I wonder if anybody's looked at the breakpoints for this sort of thing. Now, granted, this is a weird situation, because realistically, like, what is our opponent supposed to do? They only have 2 Phobies. Of course this is going to be a powerful play, right? Like... We might... I hope I'm not trolling here. I think we might have... Yeah, they're dead anyway. Never mind. GG. Pack attack. Got him. I am for the Jackalopes, mostly because I only have Mopsy. Fair. Fair. I once went with Jackalope King, Mopsy, and Cottontail. Feels good. I love looking for scenarios like that, because I do utilize... Flopsy a lot, just because it's a cheap resurrect phobie, so it comes up fairly frequently. But every once in a while, every time I have it on the board, I'm constantly trying to think, well, what if I had, you know, an extra 124 damage in this case? So it's, you know, it's 496 damage. That's a lot. That's actually a fair amount of damage. But yeah, I don't know what the break points are for them and whether it's actually any good or not. I need to level this up so that way it can start one-shotting jars again. Because right now it can't. Actually, that time it was Jackalope King, Mopsy, Cottontail, Ted, and Jill. It's on Red Rum. It's Night of the Living Dead and Pet Cemetery together. That's kind of horrifying. Chat, I love to see that there's so many memes going on in Discord. I just took a peek at Discord and there's just like so many memes. It's hilarious. Wait, what is happening in this game? I just zoned into a Leshy. What the... What is happening here? Alright, we might let this one play out, chat. So what's going on? How's everybody doing? Who's good to go first when you want to play Newly Dead? Ted or Jill? Does it matter? I usually send both at the same time since they got one movement, but if one has to go first, it's Ted since he's tankier in comments. They might not think you have Jill too. Haven't checked out Discord today. There's just like... There's just fun stuff. Like, people are just being chill. Luffy is memeing on me in Frenemies game. Oh, was that you, Scrungle? Yes, it was. I just saw, like, the posts. I wasn't looking at the names. But yes, Finnegan does have a family. Or at least as far as we know. Chat, look at this game. Oh my god! The madness! It's a brush fire. It kind of is, because Leshy's on fire. I'm telling you. Unless you're playing against me, Sparky is bad. Why didn't you hit the... Why wouldn't you hit the Hevo again? This thing lived with 40 health. Look at that! Oh my god! Oh no! This had to have been an arena game and like just quick miscount kind of thing. It's like, oh my god, look at that AoE. Chat, look at this. Hold on. Look at this. Dr. Dermic's attack is just terrifying. Hello, 911. I would like to report a fucking massacre. Yeah. Yeah. You want to talk about a Molotov cocktail party? I mean, there you go. Something tells me that Electrocat is not going the distance. Ha! A random trap. Dude, somebody call for help because holy shit, that was just brutal. And it all happened because they missed by 40 health. They killed whatever was the thing that was in front of here instead of finishing off the Hevo. I'm telling you, it had to have just been a an arena game that, you know, just a quick miscount kind of thing. Because, good lord, I'd be so, like, I swear to God, I would log out for the night. No, I take that back. I would either log out for the night, or I would just be laughing my head off because it's just so absurd. That was bonkers. That was bonkers. Alright, chat, let's see. We got a CcaughtMC game, who has been a competitor in Fright Night, but I don't think we've watched any of their submitted games before. I think this is very cool to watch, especially with the green and red bee combination. All right, we got a little bees action going, chat. Our heroes in the orange trunks here on Ergo, which seems to be the bane of DT's existence from what he says. I don't know how I feel about this map. I'm kind of like whatever about it. But we do, in fact, start off with the bee man himself, Ginsting. It's a very interesting start on this map. All of my games on this map, not a lot. Basically, I think it's literally all of them since I got Snowball have been either I opened Snowball or my opponent opened Snowball or both. You hate the double Ginsting? It seems really good. I don't know, for Hematic Ginsting, it feels like it just scales insanely well. Like, it just does so much more damage, but maybe it's just the ones I'm seeing are high level. This is a level 10 Ginsting. This is a level 8 Hematic Ginsting. You're fine with Ergo, that was someone else? Fair, okay. Wait. No spit here? That seems odd. So I was expecting the spit to happen and then the walk away. The reason being is, yes, they can just go to the spa, but it's just a cooldown and there's nothing else to hit. Oh, so you want to position it here. Okay. The Gargles is also weird. Does Gargles have legs? Gargles does in fact have legs, because I didn't mean to pause it like this, but confirmed, Gargles has back legs. You would expect a gargoyle to have back legs, right? Hematic is so much health and the ability damage is so high. Exactly, DT. It just feels like... It just feels bonkers. Hematic Ginsting is like having Hevo health. It kind of is. I mean, Hevo at level 8 is probably pushing like 2,400. Maybe more. I don't know. But yeah, Hematic Ginsting is pretty tanky and can push a ton of damage. Honestly, I don't like the army out of our opponent here. Which, I mean, we shouldn't. Our hero is rocking the bees. Bees! Plot twist, Gargoyle isn't carrying a rock, it's his gargantuan booty. And he just tears it off and clubs people with it. Alright, we get our first bees of the night. Of the game. Bees! Wait, why not use this bees and get extra splash onto Gargles? I guess it doesn't matter. Alright, so this is a good body block from the canine. Because otherwise the sheep has to swing down here, obviously guaranteeing its death. And you can either escape with the Ginsting to the healing spa or probably swing a muffin around. Alright, so we get the Gargles up top. Honestly... Okay, hold on. I don't know how many people out there in chat, or if you're watching this on YouTube, if you have Gargles in your collection. Let me know in the comments. I feel like just dropping it on points like this often is not worth it. It's one thing if, you know, the game's about to end, but there's like 45 and change on their heart. Yeah, you're going to control for a while, but you're obviously not invading and capping all 3 points, right? So it feels like this is just, I'm taking four of my own keys and just chucking them into the forest for no reason. I'm taking my keys and throwing them down a well. I can't find my damn keys, my car keys. I was gonna try and expand this metaphor, but I don't think it's that good, so we're just gonna drop it. But I feel as though Gargles is better used as a way to set up choke points, block choke points, stuff like that. I don't think holding a panic point is a good use for it. Yeah, and if you're going to win the game, because, oh, well, now they can't recap panic points, there's just no way. Okay, great. But I think, like, body blocking one of these things, like, you already have the Murder Wing up here, right? Put the Gargles here. Well, I guess this wouldn't work, because they needed to recap this. I don't know, it feels like you'd be better off locking the center and splitting their forces, or blocking this Ginsting out so it can't advance, or just in general, utilizing gargles in a different way. I see a lot of people drop it onto panic points, and they don't ever seem to do much with it. Choke points is much better. I would think so, but I don't have gargles, and just about nobody does it, so I assume there's a reason. This sheep is just dead, isn't it? The sheep is just dead. Wow. I don't have gargles, but I like to see gargles get spawned when it's late game and the enemy heart is just like 2k. Yeah, I can see it. Ooh, we get a Rambolina. We get bees and Rambolina. You have gargles for it, though? So how do you utilize gargles? We got a Hydra. Is this a level 1 Hydra? In fact, it's a level 6 Hydra. Gargoyle is like using the statue move on a hero in Smash. That one's lost on me. The panic point thing is just so easy. Using it well requires actual thought. I mean, yes. We're not trying to insult the Gargles users here, but it doesn't seem like this is the best use. I guess Microscopic is waiting for Gargles to come out and then just blow them up. At this point, 0 keys remaining for our blue player. This game was never out of... Like, CcaughtMC had control of this game, it feels like, the entire time. It just felt like they were bullying their opponent around, but there's still 10 turns left in this. I guess they play it more cautiously after this. Or maybe throw something away. We get the takedown on Gargles. It actually took 2 stimmed Microscopic hits, which is a little odd. Get the retreat. I mean, I don't know what our blue player can do here, other than die. Like, they can heal up the Hydra, but, like, I don't know. The Clinico here is kind of weird. I don't know. I don't really have much to add commentary-wise on this one, because it just feels like this was very much... Like, there was... I don't think there was very many points where this was even, let alone in blue player's favor. So we do get an invade here, but it doesn't matter, because all of this stuff is going to die. At least 2 of the 3, probably not the Hydra. Venus and Maggie are mortal enemies? Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true. I used it on panic points myself quite a few times, but it never worked out for me. I just, yeah, if you're just talking about Gargles, I just don't see the value in it. It's just not... Oh, wow, you get the Thunder Rocks on the choke point. Ooh, that was a cool boop. Boop it on back. Get a little bees going. Some bee... We got bees on both sides. So the Thunder Rocks can't currently connect with the Hydra, but that won't be the case much longer. Get a little bees. Get some more bees. That's a dead Jin Sting. And we're gonna have a dead blue player soon. Why does he have a Clinico? That is a very good question. We know, like, okay, we're on turn 24. Turn 25. I think we could all see where the state of this game goes. So let's go back and see when the Clinico came in, because I don't really understand why that Clinico came out. It came out early. GG. So, the Clinico came out, like, this turn, I think. Why did this Clinico happen? Everything's healthy. There's no poison. I guess the thought was that the sheep was gonna take a beating and then you'd heal it? But honestly, I think the game was lost on this turn. I think it was this turn. Like, the sheep dying here, and there's... Like, what are you gonna do? Kill the canine? Okay. The Gargles... This is basically, going back to the Gargles thing, this is basically minus 8 keys for the blue player. This is the game right here. Because how the hell do you come back down 8 keys like this? You're in a terrible board state comparatively. You know, like, they have a way better set of Phobies, right? They have way more keys than you. And you just set 8 keys on fire. I mean, Gargles is not dead yet, but it's useless. But yeah, shout out CcaughtMC. Thanks for submitting the game. And thanks for playing in Fright Night. Which, by the way, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for Fright Night number 3. Alright, a duel of Chucks with a very close ending. Good lord, more Chucks. We got more Chucks on deck, folks. Other people are experiencing the same issue again? Womp womp. But keep in mind, arenas of potential free loss. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I mean, I assume it could happen in Async too, the bug that's coming up. But our hero here is in the blue trunks, and we get a very interesting opener because this is a Gravedigger into Break into Cap. This is kind of cool. I mean, it's going to get poisoned here, which is going to be a little obnoxious, because that'll mean the Gravedigger is going to go down. But Gravedigger, as well as Crushmore on this map, can have a lot of power. So we do see the poison as expected. It can't even hang out to kill the spider because this Jin Sting's in position and will eliminate it. Get the walk away, and now the Chuck. So Chuck is already coming out to play, but we have 10 keys banked from our bad guy here, so we get the counter Chuck. Level 10 Chuck. Whoop. Level 4 Chuck. So our hero is way down on Chuck levels here. Alright, Ted follow-up. How do the Chucks duel? So does Chuck have a bottom jaw? Because it looks like he does when he attacks, but kind of. And a Pescetti. Okay, that's a good Chuck counter. Or decent Chuck counter at the very least. Because this Chuck can't get away unless you end up body blocking for like all eternity. And you probably are willing to trade Pescetti for Chuck. Chuck don't care, he's going in. He's getting a body block, there we go. And the spider sneaking around. This is a really interesting game so far. That is a thing you can do. I mean, it's just a cooldown, so it's cheap now also. A number of different ways to try and deal with this Chuck. Panic point advantage goes back to our blue player. I mean, it wasn't going to stay the way it was for very long anyway, right? Like, this Gravedigger is still alive. It's still surviving in order to break more blocks. I don't know why this block up here had to die. Like, honestly, no idea. But die it must. Ooh, you get the challenge play to get the Chuck to connect with this Pescetti. You love to see it. And a spider follow-up. The thing is that our orange player doesn't really have very many ways to capitalize on the spider pull right now, especially from the position where the spider is. It's going to take a turn and a half at the very least to get into position. And the Pescetti should have its cooldown back up soon, right? Next turn. But it has to retreat in order to not die to the Chuck. The sheep is going to have to reposition as well. Be able to kill some in the future without having to rely on lobs. This is a free kill on the Resurrect Phobie there. Jin Sting goes down. I think that was Jin Sting. And all of a sudden, it's Panic Point Advantage orange. 13 keys remaining to 10. And obviously this sheep is going to be able to connect with our hero's Chuck, because there's not really a good way... Well, the sheep down here is able to connect as well. So we're going to have 2 poison Chucks trying to race to heal through everything. The Pescetti is not going to bother. I wonder if disease or poison override each other. I don't know how that works. So ultimately, you can still yoink this Chuck. Sheep goes down. Shocker. I'm not sure what this Clinico is doing. I mean, yeah, you can heal this, but is it really that important? I guess it's only 3 keys and you're up by a lot. Your phobie can be diseased and poisoned at the same time. Okay, cool. Chat's correcting me. I literally don't think that scenario has ever come up for me, but it is now. You know what's interesting here? I wonder if they'll have another status effect that can go across the top here. I doubt it, but I mean, it's not impossible. So, while this Chuck is poisoned and diseased, our heroes is actually fine. Our orange player never bothered to try and yoink it with the spider to make this happen. 800 plus damage a turn, it's going to add up quick. There's a no move status and Brony status. True. True. I didn't realize Brony showed as a status. I haven't paid that much attention to it, even though it's happened to me. So, the larger Chuck does, in fact, go down. And we're probably going to see a takedown on Jin Sting here. Oh, yes, we are. Okay, so Murder Wing comes in to finish the job. And just like that, our blue player is not in a terrible position, except when you consider there are still 10 keys remaining for the bad guy. That's a lot of keys. That would be 10 more keys and 0. You math whizzes out there may have seen that. Erratic is fine? Question mark? I think Brony status the icon with the butterfly. That's probably true. Now that you're saying that. Yeah, movement lockdown for Rusty slash, what's it called? Dozer, they probably have the same thing. I haven't paid attention to that either, whether it puts a status on there. So we do have the newly dead pair, which I kind of like here from the position our orange player is in. I don't really like the Venus or the Erratic, because they're going to take 6 months to actually get in the fight. There's another 23 turns of this, which, I mean, it's kind of expected, because I don't know how the hell our blue player wins this. Like, I kind of see it. Wow. Oh my god! Oh no, you hate to see it. The double kill. Clinico. What do you hate most about true love? Clinico, what do you hate most about true love? Apparently it's the zombies. Assassin Clinico just crapping all over the newly dead honeymoon. Stomping them out. Oh my god, what a dick. I didn't realize they were that low. I mean, Chuck does Chuck things, I guess. I mean, still, our orange player's in a pretty solid position, and I think, honestly, if I were them, I would have solidified the defensive position and then tried to jump on Chuck or something like that. I guess Chuck could hypothetically just siege. Wait, did this not even poison? Oh my god, the sheep... Wait, the sheep just walked into position? Oh no. The sheep walks into position, just dies. 4 keys. Oof. Up in smoke. So Erratic's got to retreat. Honestly, they're still not in a terrible position. They have the panic point advantage. There's a lot of pressure going on the blue heart. You still have some good phobies. Presumably some traps we can't quite see. But they're just getting picked apart left and right. Clinico isn't just a healer? No. No. Clinico is an assassin. And apparently a divorce lawyer, I guess. I don't know. This is... man, I can't believe our blue player turned this around. This was wild. Like, this was really well played. Granted, it took some help from our orange player kind of, like, just allowing things to die. It felt like they... Because I've been in this position as the orange player, where it's, you're way ahead. I can't possibly lose from this position. And then it's like, oops, I can lose from this position. Whoops. Now I want to see a phobie: poison, disease, debuffed, disabled, immobilized, and frozen. That sounds like you're going to have to, like, engineer that scenario in frenemies. My Clinico got MVP by healing too much. That would... I can't even imagine how difficult that would be. So while there's still, you know, 12 more turns in this game is over. It's just a matter of time waiting this out. They keep trying to sneak the spider around because they're at 2200 health, I guess. But even if you were to pull something with the spider, you can't even kill it. Trap going down here onto the unbearable, but it doesn't matter. Or actually it does. Unbearable does die, but Chuck is still very much alive. Now, the orange forces are consolidated here. It is possible that maybe they can kill this Chuck. But it has 1700 health. It's going to have a little bit more momentarily. Oh, you're going to walk it away? That's the correct play. Just get it out of range. It's now 4-2 blue player. So they can just sit and wait if they choose. There's really no way for our orange player to capitalize on anything unless blue makes a rather egregious mistake. Now, I was saying that the other way around a few turns ago, and obviously we're in this position now because there were a bunch of mistakes made by the orange player, but doesn't look like it's going to go that way. We get the takedown on Erratic, and now you can pretty much call it. I mean, we could have a while ago. Yeah, there was that 200 plus turn game. That was just really silly. That was a really silly game. I guess the game plan for our orange players to try and cap panic points. I don't even know if that would work. But at this stage, we're looking at a very weird transformation into the meatball. But it's 3986 to 2250. Panic point advantage blue. It's only ever going to get equalized because this Clinico can just kind of cycle between different points. Oh, another trap. Never mind. No panic point advantage blue. But there are enough heavy hitters on these that I don't know that it's going to matter too much. Although this is a significant amount of panic point damage. Like, that's 900 damage. This is probably lethal, though. Maybe not. So we get the equalizer here. Equalize the panic points. Another trap. Lots of traps. But you can't stop the Chuck. And you don't have the clock to deal 1300, I don't think. I mean, obviously not, or they would have done it, right? Ball game. Half the map is filled with Jeeves. Oh, if you're talking about that 200-turn game, yeah. Ball game, GG. Well played, and thank you for submitting this game. It is an under-leveled Chuck that carries the day. I feel like there were just a whole lot of mistakes that our orange player kept making that allowed for that comeback, but Comeback it was. You take those. A win is a win. It doesn't matter. What if Hevo 2.0 and 3.0 is just normal Hevo that's upgrading himself just because he's so angry people keep calling him Tin Can? I can see it. I can see it. You know, there was a weird Star Wars like fan theory that I saw earlier today that was talking about how, given how I want to explain this. Given how the last movie in the sequel trilogy ended with, like, what Palpatine's plan was, because his whole plan was to have Rey kill him so then he can, like, possess her. The theory was how many Sith had done that. Like, when Palpatine the Emperor tells the story to Anakin in the prequels about Plagueis or however you say his name, and I think it was Darth Bane before that, whoever was the one back, did they discover this secret and then, like, they kept possessing their successor? So Palpatine literally is the soul of that Sith from, like, 3 generations ago? And I thought that was a cool idea. Because there's a line in the movie where he says something like, I am all the Sith, and then Rey says, like, I am all the Jedi. But how literal is, because this was in the fan theory, like, how literal is that idea that Palpatine is actually all of the Sith? Because they kept, like, eating each other down the chain and, like, eating the other one's soul kind of thing, so it just became, like, one being. I thought it was a cool idea. I don't know if it actually fits, but, you know, it was pretty cool. It's also pretty cool that the people who are still making the Star Wars CCG, we're talking the Decipher one from the 90s, they're coming out with an Obi-Wan set. I haven't actually watched it. This plot makes way more sense than the actual plot for the movie. Every part, like, that plot makes sense, Doc. I refuse, I will fight, this is a hill I will die on. The plot for Rise of Skywalker is fine. People just didn't listen. Like, the complaint that I usually get from people is that, oh, well, it makes no sense that Palpatine's still alive. And it's like, he literally says, I had clones. His whole thing throughout the whole series is clones. So, like, him cloning himself doesn't sound absurd. Like, I don't think there were, like, there are plot holes in all the Star Wars movies, right? We're talking the original ones, the prequels, these, all the ancillary stuff. Obviously, they're retconning things back and forth whenever they need to or want to. And I don't care. I really enjoyed the sequel trilogy. I didn't like 7 because it felt like this is A New Hope all over again. The cloning didn't bother me as much as how we got to the location where he was. What, with, like, the Wayfinder thing? Because that is, like, there's a magical MacGuffin. Okay. They aren't the first movie to do that. And it feels very Star Wars-y. Like, that's what you're talking about. It didn't bother me. I could understand why people didn't like it, because the whole movie was, like, chasing magical MacGuffins. I just don't have a problem with those sort of stories, generally. Like, and don't get me wrong, if people don't like it, that's fine. Like, I don't care. I honestly, like, I've mentioned this before, I think Empire is still my favorite movie, then Rise of Skywalker, then The Last Jedi, then Return of the Jedi, then A New Hope, then Force Awakens, and then, like, I hate the prequels. Like, I really can't stand them. I was just straight up bored. Feeling on 7 and 8. Well, 8, the thing is all 3 movies, realistically, are the same movies over again. Like, you can see the story beats. Like, the whole fight at the end of Rise of Skywalker kind of mirrors the fight at the end against the Death Star, sort of thing. They have, obviously, different elements, but they are very similar. I like 7 because it was A New Hope all over again, felt nostalgic. 8 was bad, and 9 was poison. I didn't mind them. Like, now don't get me wrong. We're gonna do another game review because apparently nobody's in the queue. Don't get me wrong. They should not have done a bunch of the things that they did, both narratively and real world. Like, why the fuck did you swap people control? Like, having one unified artistic vision would have made more sense, because I absolutely understand people's argument. I don't feel the movies were disjointed. I feel like they were consistent and made sense, and I think the parallels to the original trilogy are, like, so painfully obvious that it's almost going to the point of, like, okay, does it have to be that obvious? But I do agree that, like, having different directors and different things going on and just, like, winging it only added ammunition to have it hurt. Like, even though I liked it, I think it makes it easier for somebody to find faults with it, because there are absolutely things to dislike about it. There are absolutely things to dislike about it, and I don't blame people for that. I don't know. I've watched, like, leading up to Rise of Skywalker, and since then, I've watched a bunch of the Star Wars movies. None of the prequels, because I don't think I'll ever watch them again, truthfully. But I really do enjoy the later movies more than I do. Like, I never really liked A New Hope, honestly. Like, it's fine, but I thought A New Hope was just kind of whatever. Empire is the best one because it does the most world building that I liked. There are parts of Jedi that I don't like. Return of the Jedi, as opposed to The Last Jedi or whatever. But it's the same thing with the sequels. The reason I don't like 7 is because there are huge chunks of it that I'm like, I just don't care. Plus, if I didn't like A New Hope, I'm not going to like the one that parallels it, right? I distinctly remember coming out of the movie because I went with my wife and my sister-in-law to see it, and I'm like, I straight up did not like that movie. And I was pretty excited going in, but... Alright, so we're zoning into a Savada's viewer-submitted game here on the Big House. Finally, we're getting into some non-crypto games. We had an Opticon one. I'm sure the next 7 games in a row that were submitted will be on crypto. But we get a somewhat unique opener here with a Newly Dead right off the bat. I've talked about it a lot of times. I don't like the Resurrect Phobies early on because it's too easy for them to just, oops, I died. Like, even here, is this gonna die? $3.99. No, this will actually live by just a bit. Just a bit. But that was unknown. Like, this could have been a higher level Spud, and it would have been able to kill it, and then the cat just blows it up. Clearly, Blue Player, our hero here, would not have done that, but you get the point. Alright, so we're gonna mirror panic points here. Gesundheit follow-up to match the canine. Just looking at chat real quick. By the way, if you want to see some live Phobies action and maybe talk about some other stuff, like, at least right now we're talking about the Star Wars movies, hit up RTChompGG over on Twitch. Link will be in the description. Along with the Discord. Hit up the Discord. Alright, so we get an elimination, trading out 1-drops. We actually get the full reposition from the Gesundheit, which I like. And a Venus. So we've been seeing a lot more Venus just in general. Maybe it's just because of the games I've been reviewing, the particular individuals involved. But the bank of our Blue Player, our hero here, was allowed, or does allow for a Klepto. So we're probably going to see a big retreat here. Try and play this more defensively. Ooh, we're not. We're actually going to see a somewhat aggressive setup. Go to a 4-to-1 panic point advantage. This makes sense. Like, this cat is not going to do much else. You might as well get more. Blue players up to 4 Phobies. They only have 3 keys, so they're going to supplement with something, but you don't quite know what. And it forces them to spend a little bit of time dealing with this. It allows you as the orange player to get to 6 keys, which hopefully you have an answer to Klepto. This Klepto is level 9. It's a pretty big Klepto. It's a pretty big Klepto. So we did have a trap there, but of course, Newly Deads don't care. Resurrection, don't care. Now, it's gonna die. I mean... Oh, really? This is bold. Wow, our orange player is super aggressive here. So you have to take down the Gesundheit if you're gonna do this play, or otherwise you risk, you know, having bad things happen. Now... This is a very juicy target for Klepto. So we're going for the Spud, which means it's probably a dead Spud. You actually get the split here because it allows you to get extra damage here. Do we get a takedown? Whoa. So we take down the Spud. This is still alive because Venus is super tanky. This is an incredibly strange block. Yes, you have 2 lobbers. But you're down panic points, and your opponent can set up traps. This is really weird. It's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see how it works out for him. Like, chat, am I crazy? I don't hate it, but, like, this is absolutely not something I would have thought to do. I probably would have just hit the damn Venus, but I wonder if Klepto was at risk of dying. You know, like, Gesundheit would have hit, Venus would have hit, Blinky would have hit, Cowbell would have hit. Maybe it's a... Yeah, exactly, Onda. That's what I'm thinking, but it still feels like that's extreme. Are we going to see, like, a Droney come out? Alright, we get a Jar, which will finish off this Blinky? No. Oh, 283 health, 279 damage. Need 1 more level, probably. Hey, Slime, what's good? So it's now a 5-0 panic point advantage. Now, zoning into this game, we knew what the end result is, but this is wild. This is a small map. 5-0 panic point advantage, 26-35. I have to imagine Jar... Oh no, Jar can't take this point yet. Alright, so we stem the bleeding a bit. The last phobie is Clinico? There are still 6 keys left on our orange player's side. 6 keys left for our orange player, as well as all this stuff, presumably a whole bunch of traps. Like, it's going to be a minefield going in here. You know, another reason I wonder if they placed this to see if there was a trap there. Although that probably isn't worth it, but at least there's a potential. There's probably a trap on the center point. Alright, we get another block. Now we have panic point advantage blue, and this solidifies it, because it's going to be difficult for our orange player to assail this point. 12-25. Clinico is kind of bad. I don't like the Clinico, but respect to it, because here it is going to be able to heal up this Crushmore, keep it in the fight. The Quagmire here is probably not what our orange player wanted. But the Blinky Invade is interesting. It does allow for the ability to once again make it panic point advantage orange. You don't have to get a whole lot more damage. But this Blinky, if you recall, is also super beat up. It's gonna die. Orange went to melee-centric. I agree. I don't think Quagmire... Like, Quagmire might have actually been the pick that killed them. I think Quagmire might have been the pick that killed them. Venus is fine. Obviously, Hevo is fine. Blinky's fine due to the flying. Gesundheit was out way earlier in the game, but the Quagmire just doesn't seem like it's going to do anything. I get what probably went through our orange player's head was, I want something tanky. It's going to take Splash from Clinico. This way, I can just set up wherever I need to and just have it hold points. But they ended up retreating, and then now they can't reclaim those points. Alright, that Contortio is just dead, right? So we're going to get a bunch of damage going down onto Quagmire. I don't think the Quagmire can... Well, actually, it's in range of everything. 5 hits and down it goes. Even get a spare hit here. Eliminate the Gesundheit. And just like that, wow. Chat. 990. Never say never. If he popped out an erratic with his 6 keys, the game is probably secured. I could see that. I could see that, because just the splash damage from hitting the statues will add up. Ha! Cages the Contortio. Hilarious. Retakes the point. Honestly, I probably would have put the Clinico on this center point. Just so that way they can't reclaim it, but I don't think it's going to matter. Like, what is this Hevo at? This Hevo's at 1560. Access denied. It is a wild one. This game was insane. So we can cycle back here. Okay. We are, like, 520. Orange is not out of this. Alright, so Contortio's free. The cage is broken. How is it, like, we know the ending. I wish I could zone into the game without knowing the ending. Down goes Hevo, and with that, it has to be the final hopes for our orange player. We're gonna get another 225 coming in. Oh my god, chat. 50 health. This is the new record, chat. 50 health remaining on the heart. I don't think we've had a game where somebody survived with less health. Wow. That's gotta be the new record, chat. GG. Well played, Savadas. Well played. That one was pretty hype, I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty ridiculous, chat. I can't believe how close that was. The Assassin Clinico. You love to see it. You love to see it. So I missed it. Well, I didn't miss it, but Roxbridge earlier was saying most people's gripe with the return was Ewoks, but I just feel like it's not enough to hate on it. I don't like the Ewoks. I mean, the Stormtroopers being a meme in universe is what it is. The Death Star Redux kind of irked me. I don't like how Boba Fett randomly dies to stupid stuff. Like, Boba Fett is supposed to be the cool character and he just dies like a doofus. Well, he doesn't die, but, you know. There are a few different things that just bother me where I don't mind it. But I don't know that I like it more. Like, for me, the top two are pretty solidified, but I could see Return being, like, in my ranking, Return being higher than The Last Jedi. I'm not sure, because basically my basis for a Star Wars movie is how much cool Force usage and lightsabers do they have. The regular sci-fi blaster stuff is kind of boring to me. I mean, it's not boring in general, it's just like, it's not doing anything unique, whereas the Jedi are the draw. So, whenever you get the Jedi doing Jedi things, or the Sith for that matter, that's when it's cool. If you don't, then it's like, well, what am I watching this for? Mercy murdered the newly dead couple, now Contortio. The massacre continues. Clinico must be stopped! Had one game with 11 health of the heart at the end. Oh my god. I wanted to try and stay free to play, but then at a certain point I didn't care. Usually, I mean, I wanted to stay free to play, but it wasn't that important to me. FTP is free to play. It's usually F2P. People note it, but for me, when I start up a game like this, typically it's for card games like I've talked about before. I'll just sink in, you know, 50 or 60 bucks. That gets me a significant base so I can get a good sample of what the game is. And I look at it as if I were to buy a new Xbox game or something, that's roughly what it would cost. And I'm sure for almost every card game I played, I mean, I've definitely got my money's worth from all the card games that I've invested in. But for 50 or 60 bucks, like that, I will get that investment back when I play it. So I'm usually okay with that. Obviously, I'm in a position where I can do that. I know not everybody is. But it also gets me beyond, because starting a game out often feels very boring when it's like you can't do anything fun because all your cards are garbage. Phobies is a little different because there's more of a draw aside from the strategy's different, the tactics are different. Like the game as a whole is different, but also like all the lore and the universe for Phobies is interesting to me, so it draws me in. So like I didn't mind going free to play with this to start. I was gonna do the starter bundle and then I just missed on it. Yeah, I don't blame anybody who stays free to play. Like, it's a free to play game, so play it however the hell you want. Like, if you want to put in money, go ahead. I'm fine with supporting the devs, but if you want to play free to play, then do that. What if they made a Phobies card game? Honestly, I would see them making a Phobies, like, tactics game, like Warhammer or War Machine or, you know, any of those sort of games first. I mean, it could just be a board game. Like, you could physically... We've talked about this before, which I'll mention it again. If anybody out there can figure out or knows how to do 3D modeling for, like, 3D printers so that we can... Like, has anybody 3D printed real-life Phobies yet? Because that would be really cool. That would be really cool. Because I could definitely see somebody putting together, like, a Phobies board. You can make the map on cardboard for all it matters, you know what I mean? There are certain effects that might be... I mean, the boops and stuff, we'd still have to figure out, well, how do they actually work? The numbers would absolutely be weird. Because when the computer is calculating all this stuff, it's fine. But it's going to be difficult to scale these things properly if you're trying to do it by hand. I mean, you could do the literal numbers, but then are you going to have, like, a deck of cards in addition to the minis? I think that might be fine, but... And then you just leave everything at level 1. You know, so that they're all at max level simultaneously as lowest level. I think it would be really fun, and I'd love to see somebody do that. I think it can be done. I don't know that there are any abilities that wouldn't work physically. You know what I mean? Like, I think the problem playing Phobies in real life would just be the mental management of, oh, well, I need to check this card, I need to do this thing, and, like, I feel like it would be more difficult to do that than just playing the game digitally. But, you know. We got a bozo game. I made a lot of bad plays in the beginning and let him kill off a lot of my Phobies without punishment, but in the later half, I was able to barely come back and win. So we'll see what's going on here on Phobopolis. Our heroes in the orange trunks, the bad guys in the blue, leads off with a snowball, which, similar to Droney, you know, take the center point. I like it. I'm not sure whether I like Droney better or not, because Droney would allow you to get, like, Cassowary. But Droney itself is kind of useless. I don't know. Yeah, you missed the Star Wars discussion earlier, but other than that, doing game reviews, the queues are kind of long. I think that bug is still going on from what people are reporting in chat. Hopefully, I mean, by the time this is on YouTube, it'll be corrected, but, you know, there's apparently a bug that's causing some people some issues, so I wonder if it's either preventing queues or people are just dodging queues to not catch the bug. Which is going to be frustrating if I end up, like, 4 games short of the weekly gold. That's going to be annoying. But anyway, we're getting the buildup of forces. We're getting a mirror here with Stairmasters. We got a spider going. Bachelor to fill in for some more 1 keys. I don't know about this. Because like, okay, you get the snowball. But they're gonna kill this pretty easily. If it didn't die here, then a jar would come out. So you get the yoink, which means this is poisoned, exactly. And then you get a meatball. Ouch. That actually kills the Stairmaster. I didn't think it was going to go down, but it did. So Stairmaster goes down. This is what Bozo was describing in the notes that I read off at the beginning, that lost a bunch of phobies early on. Doesn't have a panic point advantage either. Gets an Unbearable online. I don't know, what do you think, Chad? Do you like Unbearable on this map? It's a lobber, but the problem I've had with Unbearable is that it just takes so long to get it into position. Even if you're not taking time out to kill something up here like this, swinging it back around, or God forbid you need to get it to the other side of the board. Oh no. Free Murder Wing takedown. Unbearable's okay here. I've used it a bunch. I just don't know yet. I'm undecided. It seems fine, but I am never excited to have it. Like I said, the lack of mobility is really crippling. So we actually get an aggressive invade from the spider, but I don't know how Bozo would punish it, truthfully. I don't like using Unbearable to attack that panic point. I'm not a huge fan either. I'm like a boomer on this map. I don't get the meta at all. I don't know if there is an established meta for this beyond lots of lobbers, right? Like, we reviewed that game the other day where there were almost no lobbers. I think there were 2 total. And it was violent. So we get a Moly Bully to go after the spider, but that means it just gets poisoned. I hope Bozo has a muffin. In the meantime, 4-1 blue panic point advantage. Couple things getting picked off here and there. But that's a lot of damage on this Moly Bully. The spider's gonna pay... Oh, we did finally see the animation. Moly Bully eating the rocks. So down goes the spider. It looks like we're gonna make them pay for the invade here. To a degree. Moly Bully's gonna die for its sins. So you traded Moly Bully for Spider and Stairmaster. That's not bad, but obviously there is a key deficit, or has to be at this point, so... Orange is missing 9, 12, 14, 15, 16. 10, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, it actually, this evens it up, right? 5, 10... 13, 14, 15, 16. 5, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, they actually evened it up with that. So not that far behind. I mean, I think the invade was probably too aggressive. Honestly, I don't know why the blue player sacrificed the spider there, let alone sending in the Stairmaster. Unless this was one of those scenarios like we talked about earlier where it just feels like, oh, I'm so far ahead, I can afford to be a little reckless. Unbearable is good, but if you already have a log on the center, I could see that. I just go flyers and lobbers, that's pretty much the same for most larger maps. That's also true. I mean, flyers and lobbers work out a lot on a lot of maps. Fire Ant probably the meta here, or Chuck. I could see that, but you have to have them. Evo 3.0 seems broken. Crushmore's good. The rest, I don't know. Hevo is fine. I mean, I have Hevo, so I've used it a lot here. Maybe not a lot, but it can be awkward to get it online. But it definitely helps because the positioning, you know, you just get stuck in these trenches back here. So it is possible that you just get trapped, kind of thing. I think 2.0's ability can kind of be used as a better 3.0 splash. Possibly. So we get an Alistor follow-up. The Blinky's just sniping things, that's why I didn't call it out. But we do get a Crushmore, speaking of Crushmore. Gets the block here, which you love to see. So our hero here, 2475. Like, this is similar to the last game that we watched, where this is a really tight game. So we're probably going to see an invade from Ray Chargels. Both players are down to the last of their army here. Alright, Blinky finish. Blinky eliminates the Hevo. And just like that, it's 3 Phobies to 4. Although there isn't a whole lot of time for our orange player to recap these points. At this point, everybody knows that 2.0 is even better than 3.0. I would think so. The thing is, I don't like the boop on this map because I don't know, it can just be weird and push you into positions, push your opponent into positions where you can't really capitalize. Since you mostly don't get the benefit much from 3.0 splash, if the opponent plays well using 2.0, ult every 3 turns can work as a 3.0. Yeah. And we're just sniping things here. We're sniping things. This was a great comeback, as pointed out early on. Just realized this is my game. Yes, it is. This is a great comeback. Like, way to hang in there, because this was looking ugly. I think your opponent, like... Yes, you lost Phobies early on, but that dive here, as we were counting it up, it evened it up right away. And that's basically what it came down to. From that point on, it was, okay, it's anybody's game. But this was a pretty cool highlight. We've had a number of comeback games the last few nights, tonight and last night, and even a little bit last week, where it's just like, don't, I mean, I surrender a lot of games, but don't surrender games, because your opponent can and will make mistakes. GG. I guess. I don't know why it went in. Imagine Alistor had 1 mobility. I'd rather imagine that. So we were talking about this earlier. Did people think Alistor is one of the ones that's going to get nerfed? Because that and Grimes is what everybody was complaining about, and then it shifted to Beauty, and it feels like nobody complains about Grimes or Alistor anymore. Like, you just don't hear it, or I don't see it as much anymore. Maybe it still happens. I don't know. Since I have Alistor, I hope she does not get nerfed. I feel like her damage output could go down a little bit, and she would still be fine. But I also... This is the big thing about balance. And we talked about it the other day. I still have to break out that video. If you're not looking at the spreadsheet when you're talking about balance, it kind of doesn't matter. The reason I say that is... Okay, if you go up against Vladimir, and they have, or Karth, and they have a level 20 Alistor, okay, yeah, that's a problem. If your opponent has an Alistor that's 2 levels higher, okay, that could be a problem too. But if everything is on par levels, it's really just, the complaint is not the balance then. The complaint is the in-game economy. Like, that's the difference, is that if you don't have the answer to insert phobia, Alistar, Grimes, Beauty, whatever, and we're assuming there is an appropriate answer, right? We're assuming there's an appropriate answer. You're literally facing Vlad's level 20 Alistar as we speak. Oh no, good luck. But seriously, like, if we assume that every phobia has a quote-unquote counter phobia, or there's supposed to be something that deals with this other thing, or this phobia plus a different strategy allows you to try and swing the game, that means that the issue is leveling and acquisition, not necessarily the phobies themselves. And again, it could also be the maps, it could also be the phobies are over or underpowered. Just from a numerical standpoint, like maybe it just doesn't work out certain ways. That happens in games. But that isn't necessarily going to be the case, and that's why I think it's important when discussing balance stuff, you need to be looking at that spreadsheet. Because otherwise, it's just a crapshoot of whether, well, if I'm 10 levels higher than my opponent, does it matter if they have the counter phobia? It's like if I have a level 17 Cerberus and you have a level 3 Sheep, does it really matter that Sheep connected? Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to tank through it. Like, that sort of thing. Just checking chat. That's the thing with Alistar. I feel like you still need to know how risky to play with her, but I always feel like Beauty, you can be brain dead and she still has a menace. Probably. I mean, we know Beauty's getting a nerf. I don't know that... Like, Alistar feels like it's pretty... Like, it is possible to get Alistar killed. It's very difficult to get Beauty killed. So, like, it's just much safer to do. Like, I could see Beauty losing a ton of HP. Alright, chat, we're gonna drop into another viewer game since, can't jump into Arena at the moment. So we're getting our hero here. No, our hero is... Because their name does not match their Discord. Okay, so our hero is in the blue trunks here, leading off with Venus on Billy's room. And we get a jar opener. I don't mind jar. I think it was DT. Somebody was saying and agreeing with me that I'm not as huge of a fan of jar on this map. I kind of go back and forth. But I definitely don't like jar as the first thing right off the bat. But this game is weird already. We get a jar off the bat, we get a Venus off the bat, and we get a Misanthrope who is going for it. That's a Misanthrope invading the opposing stim. Chat, what the hell is happening here? What is happening here? This is going to do 8 and change. We'll say 9. 14. It's possible this Venus dies. Like a snowball coming out, depending on the level, could kill it. Beauty's so hard to one-shot, it's frustrating. You need a perfect scenario. I agree, Roxbridge. That's my biggest complaint about Beauty. I mean, there are other complaints, but... For example, Snowball isn't that good at level 6-7, but so many people have it at level 10-11, which pushes it above the nerf barrier. I guess. I one-shot at Smother Mother the other day for a comeback, and that's pretty good, Roxbridge. Is it okay to trade Snowball with Jar? I think that it's going to depend, but yeah. It's probably worth it. I don't think Snowball loses a lot of momentum after the opener, because if you can keep it alive, Snowball still it's like another Murder Wing, is the way you can look at it, depending on the levels. It's like that one Misanthrope, same map. Yeah. Are we gonna... I wonder if this person saw the other one and said, you know what? I'm gonna submit my own game. I'm doing it. Alright, we'll get back to the game. So, this could be a dead Venus, which means this Clinico is in really bad shape, but it's absolutely not because this Jar invades. Oh, no. Wow. Oh, no. So the Jar just gets sniped. You still have a Misanthrope, which is going to kill this... Wow. That is just brutal. That is absolutely brutal. Like, you can't come back from this. The tempo loss there is enormous. I have no idea why this muffin came out, though. Now, I say you can't come back from this, and we watched 2 games where somebody was literally at 50 heart health and came back. But we're seeing... Chat, if you told me 2 weeks ago that I was going to have not 1, but 2 games... 2 games with a misanthrope on a stim just annihilating someone's heart, I would have asked how much you had to drink. Because that is an insane statement. What is happening? These are the most murderous misanthropes on the face of the planet. It's not even dead yet, chat! 2942. The Paladin build is... This is the Paladin build! Is this the same person who submitted that other game? Because they also had Morty in that other game. Chat, what just happened? This is twice. This has to be the same person. Who was... Anybody remember? This is bonkers. 2 games? And you know it's not the same game, because I had that, like, somebody resubmitted a game once. It's not the same game because they were going second in the other one. Like, that's ridiculous. 2 Misanthrope games? I'm telling you, Misanthrope is not bad. Alright, what did I miss? Snowball is like Jar plus Wing because of the potential range, yes. With Snowball, clearly needs to be on par with Jar and Wing levels to function as intended. Agreed. I guess if everyone got it, Snowball would be fine, but the stress level thing makes it so people with higher stress have a big advantage. It's not as bad as if it was only in packs, though. Like, that would be worse. Unless it was a really low rarity, I guess. The Assassin Clinico murdering continues, yep. I think Snowball is too strong personally, just all around utility. It's always the same best opener that's saying something, same with Stabby. Yes and no, there's probably always going to be a best opener. I think the game is going to be way too complicated to try and make it so everything's viable, and it's fine if not everything is viable. Some things are supposed to be niche. Stress levels what guarantees everybody gets. If it wasn't stressful, it would be totally unfair. Yes. Everyone will get it, but not there. Or Finnegan to boop the Misanthrope. If this happens to me, I'll spawn my Thunder Rocks. Oh, okay, yeah, or boop it with Finnegan. I mean, honestly, that seems like a decent map for that plan. Like, that is actually a really cool plan. Because this thing is just so tanky. If your opponent allows it to... Now, the real answer is put something on your freaking stem so that way that doesn't happen. Alright, player, take it easy. Thanks for hanging out. Alright, so our hero here is in the orange trunks zoning into Ergo. Mac Attack. Bad guy starts off, speaking of Snowball as the standard opener. I was talking about this earlier, and we were debating Snowball in general. This is the standard opener for a lot of people, and I think it makes sense. The mobility that's afforded and the actual ability are just too useful to ignore. Now, in response, we get a very slow opener from our orange player that is Stabby, but then immediately into Clopster. This is actually kind of cool. It's a level 7 Clopster, so it's not doing a ton of damage. Clopster, very much to me, is a... Well, Furry Clown has got to spawn the Bowmangles. You got to stay on brand, right? Come on. That's what the modern world is. It's branding. And if you're a Furry Clown, you have to have... Oh, God, you love to see it. This is what I was... Before I got distracted by the clown stuff. It's always clown stuff here on Random's Thoughts. Come by the live stream, RTChompGG over on Twitch, you'll see. But Klopster feels like it's supposed to be an assassin. It goes in, it snipes something, and then it tries to get out, hopefully. Because the burrow is 4 range. It's an enormous range. So from here, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, gets on the stim, clocks the clown, and it's tanky enough that it can actually survive these hits. Or should. In the meantime, what's another interesting thing about this whole set of plays is it's a 2-0 panic point advantage. Mac Attack just gives no damns. Could put in a different word. Doesn't care about the potential for any of this as far as capping points. It's just going in. We're getting in there. So we finally cap a point, finally get an orange point. We're going to get a takedown here on the Bowmangles. We're going to get the walk away from the Klopster. Because the spit from Snowball already came down, the Klopster's safe. It's going to be able to actually get onto the healing spot. And the Murder Wing ensures that we recap the point. This opener is weird but cool. So the Klepto's coming in trying to clean stuff up. Oh, the Klopster was actually low enough that it just died here. Sorry, I was checking out chat. Klopster was low enough that it just died to a regular slap from this. But we do have a orange panic point advantage. So it's now incumbent on our blue player to do something with only 3 keys. They're banking to 6 because orange has banked to 6. The hero has banked to 6. Stabby's going to stand its ground valiantly. Is this dead? Oh my god, is this really dead? Wow, you can't let this happen. Why did this happen? All of that? Like, this Klepto goes down simply to get 1 hit on this Stabby. I guarantee our blue player here is like, nah, there's no way they're killing my Klepto. You know, it's like 800, 13, whatever. They can't do it. They probably thought Fireball was on cooldown or something. That's rough. Like, that... The Klopster opener... Well, it wasn't the opener. It was Stabby. But the early Klopster was cool. And the rest of the supplements were really cool. But that... is the nail in the coffin. It's gotta be, right? I mean, you trade Murder Wing for Klepto. You take those. So we get the sheep coming out. There's a bunch of dimensionals and undead, so I get it. Stabby now assumes the position on the stem. You just pull back. There's really not much they can do. You can just wait for Fireball to come back up, and whenever they decide to go in, you just annihilate the sheep. I love killing electricals with mechs. It feels like justice. Alright, Maximus, take it easy. Thanks for hanging out. We're just getting some repositioning here, and we get the Baba Haha. Where's Onda? You love to see it. Chat's talking about Thunder Rocks. I mean, Thunder Rocks would have answered that misanthrope. They're right that this is one of the few times that Misanthrope would have mattered, right? Or Thunder Rocks would have mattered. Babaha! I mean, realistically, any ranged Phobie here would have been enough. Yes, our blue player still has 4 keys left. But what exactly are they supposed to do? Everything's very healthy. You could kill this thing. Ugh, excuse me. You can kill this thing, just walk on, walk off. You don't even have to recap. I mean, you can do that, too. Alright, Blinky goes in, because Blinky can probably tank... Yeah, Blinky can tank this out. Get a shot onto the sheep to soften it up. Complete control of this game. Those early turns really completely broke our blue player's back, I think. As compared to a bunch of other games that we've observed, both tonight and in the past, where sometimes it's just incremental stuff. You know, you lose a phobie here, you're slowly ceding ground, then they suddenly have control of the board and you can't really push in. There were just some ill-advised positions in this particular case. I imagine this is a trap going down onto this panic point. I was going to say stem, but that's not what it is. We're watching the slow demise. I don't know if anybody watched Stargate SG-1, but there was an episode where, spoiler for a show that's like, I don't know, 20 years old now. I don't actually know how old that show is. But there was one episode where they opened the Stargate to a planet, and the planet doesn't exist anymore. The star in that solar system went supernova and turned into a black hole. And as a result, when the Stargate opened, it made a connection, but then created a black hole, or a connection to the black hole. And when they sent the team through, the team is now trapped in a black hole. Or, no, that wasn't quite how the episode went. I think they were on... The planet still existed, but it was in the orbit of the black hole, so they had a team on the planet. Point is that there's a line where they realize we can't save these guys. We can't get them back through the Stargate, so we're just going to kill the video feed because we're watching good men die in slow motion because of the time dilation due to the black hole. That whole anecdote was to say that's basically what we're watching here. We were watching our blue player die in slow motion because there was nothing they could do at this point. And in fact, this is where the ball game ends. GG. I screwed up my anecdote, but I think you got the point. We're just watching the slow demise. GG. Well played, Mac Attack. SGU will forever be best. I don't think I watched SGU. Was that, No, that was Atlantis. What was SGU? I don't think I ever saw that one. I don't think I saw that one. I'm gonna have to look that up. I keep trying to get my wife to watch Stargate because I think she'd really like it. She's not real big into sci-fi, but I always thought that the take Stargate had on mythology was really cool. Like, I thought it was really unique. The later seasons got weird. You know, I'm talking Stargate SG-1 here. The later seasons got weird with respect to, like, the more cosmic stuff. I tend to think a lot of stories are better when they are smaller scope. Like, of course, it's a galaxy-spanning thing, and the bad guys are these super powerful enemies and things. But when you get to the level of, like, this is universe-threatening, it's like, okay. Now it just feels absurd. And it feels the same way in other stuff. Like, we're talking Marvel movies when it's... Okay, the Infinity Gauntlet just feels so ridiculous to me. And what's funny is when it's sci-fi kind of things, it feels worse than if it's fantasy. I don't know. The team was coming back from the planet, had just enough time to dial, but we're never going to get through because the time running so slow. Yes, that's what it was, Doc. You're right. They went to a ship in the middle of space. It was amazing. I gotta see that show. I haven't seen it. Baba Ha's attack animation looks ranged. Lowers damage and give him 2 range. Hook a brother up. What? I watch it once a year. Okay. Yeah, I googled it real quick. It looks like it got canceled pretty quick. It was pretty corny and predictable. I mean, all of them were, right? It was basically Monster of the Week most of the time. And they had some multi-parter episodes, but it was basically always Monster of the Week. You go to the planet, and then you do the thing, and then you come home. First time I play Phobia, I didn't expect Baba's melee. What? Oh yeah, its attack is melee, but its trap throw is ranged. SG-1 Atlantis with a background noise from most of my graduate school. Probably know the plot's as good as the writers at this point. I mean, it's been a few years. They've probably forgotten it. I gotta get that show on DVD. There's a lot of stuff I gotta get on DVDs because doing it on, like anything digitally, you never know when they're gonna pull the rights, sort of thing. And that's the big issue with a lot of that stuff, is you never know when the rights holders are gonna go, yeah, we don't feel like giving you the license anymore. Oh god, we're back on crypto chat. I mean, my wife and I do that, Doc, with Scrubs. Like, we've watched Scrubs hundreds of times, probably now. It might actually be hundreds. Well, episode-wise. Like, we've watched everything half a dozen times through, maybe more. So, yeah, we quote the episodes to each other, like the whole episode all the time. Alright, so our hero here is Silver K in the orange trunks. In the orange trunks. And, do they have any notes for this one? So this game might not be anything super cool or have an intuitive play, but I think I psyched someone out of their win. If you're interested, you can check out turn 18 to 19 and decide if you want to see the whole thing or not. Alright, so this is a 30-turn game. We get an Octonaughty very early. The blue player banked to 9 keys, so what the hell is happening? It's a Hevo 9.0. Baba Haha's reverse corn? True. True. The animation of the attack is just clearly ranged. Does it make sense to give him a weak range attack? Would it make him too good? I wouldn't think so. It depends. I kind of understand why they did it with Baba Yaga. This was a pretty tough battle. Is this you, Silver? I mean, it would make sense given the name. So we get the lob here. Obviously, I mean, we're looking at chat, but the Bachelor positioning here didn't have to happen. So, you know, like, this is damage that didn't need to happen. Obviously, you have this, the healing spa, so you can just walk out of range. Probably 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess that, yeah, that is where it ends. No, 1, 2, 3. I think this needs to be back one. This is a good play from our blue player. That's just a quick snipe here on the cat. Horn hits hard enough, though. If you give Baba range, you gotta make it weak. Exactly. Wow, we get a Scritch. I haven't seen a Scritch in a long time. We've been seeing a lot of Gonzo Bonzos, but not a lot of Scritch. But the panic point advantage is in orange player's favor. They have a Spud on the stem, so if a Yoink is available, it can come in. I'm not sure why this Bachelor is just kind of hanging out here. Like, it's going to die and then get the retreat here. I guess the idea was maybe they don't move back, but they're going to. As we approach the halfway point, well, I was going to say our blue player's in a pretty good spot overall, but they are down to 6 keys remaining. Now, the Octonaughty here, is this going to die? It has 1,800 health, so this might die. This is going to be a lot of damage coming out of the Scritch. Oh, we get a Chuck. This is the 3rd Chuck game tonight. 3rd game with a Chuck. So, just like that, all the keys get invested just about from our hero. Evo goes in. So can't quite kill everything. It's a good shot, especially while the pull is down. This isn't a super high level Hevo, so it's only 118 fire damage. And since Scritch's range, it actually is threatening. Like, you can't just run to the healing spa. Alright, so the boop from Finnegan means that there aren't going to be 2 attacks coming in. But this is... okay, now there are 2 attacks. So it's going to be Hevo and Sheep versus Chuck and Finnegan, basically. Because these are obviously dead. So I kind of see, because if you recall at the beginning when I was talking about what the notes were for this game, turn 18-19, there has to be a wild mind game here, because look at this board state. We have a pretty healthy Hevo in position to even beat up the stem if Chuck goes on, which it won't, it can outrange. a poisoned Finnegan and very healthy Sheep and Flopsy? So you get the takedown on Flopsy there. Alright, you get that. Makes sense. 38-75, 65-75. I think our... Wait, what? Panic point advantage is still orange. I guess the blue player is very afraid of this Finnegan going in? I don't know about that. I think you need to just deal with Chuck. Like, maybe cap the point and then deal with Chuck. I mean, Chuck is dealing a ton of damage. It deals like 1,800. I think what you do is you probably stay here on the healing spa. Tag Chuck twice. Pull the Sheep back. Or maybe just send it in, poison Chuck. Tag it twice and then pull back. I don't know. It feels like you didn't need to retreat here as blue player. Evo 9.0. I don't know, chat. What do you think? Wait, what? This had to have been an arena game. Why didn't they attack? Why didn't they attack here? Like, if your answer is don't, like, Chuck will just heal it, okay, then hit the Finnegan. Wow, the Finnegan lives. This is async. Wow. That's a dead Hevo. Chat, this is a... We've had a few different comebacks. This one's wild. I think the blue player just was terrified of Chuck. Which, I get it. Don't get me wrong. But, like, at a certain point, you have to accept that you need to do something. Being aggressive on the Chuck might have worked, or you need to find a better way to trap the Finnegan. I don't think you can allow... Like, you can't let both of them live this long. Well played. Well played, Silver. This definitely seemed like it should have been blue player's game, but snatch and victory from the jaws of defeat. Well done. Bye-bye, sheep. Interesting. Async. Bold. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Similar to the earlier games tonight, I think it comes down to, hey, if the other person makes a mistake, you win him. That Finnegan was a good as boy. It's true. It's true. You love to see the Finnegan being a good boy. I don't have Finnegan. I don't know why I'm looking in there. I do want to get Finnegan and Slammerhead. Slammerhead's just a little more awkward to use because it's 4. And it doesn't push a ton of damage, it doesn't seem like. Maybe 350's fine. I'm looking at the level 1, of course, but... Yeah, I was a little surprised on that one. I didn't realize that it looked awful. But Silver was able to pull it out. GG. Against Narwhal. Stalemate broken by baiting the board lock into a one-shot of Hematic Gin Sting. You can check to see if a game is async or arena by looking at the icon under the map picture on the video. Yes, that's absolutely true, Silver. I usually click into them too quickly to really register. Usually DT or somebody in chat sees it and then corrects me. Hey, what question you got, Rybread? What's up? So we're getting pretty standard openers here for the most part. We love correcting chomp. Everybody does. Everybody does. So one thing that we didn't see here, though... Oh, they did save... So... This is a dangerous play that I saw... We saw it on somebody's review a while back, where they were able to invade and then just incinerate because they took the stem. Something that was, like, positioned here or here. I forget what it was. And I always look for that play on this map, but the problem is as you get higher levels, higher stress levels, that is, the snowball invading here may not be safe, because then, like, if they had a cassowary or something that was their other opening play, it could swing back and then their own snowball kills yours. You know, it may not be a worthwhile trade. Is Honey Bear any good? Yes. Honey Bear is actually really good. Honey Bear provides a lot of utility. There's a few people in Discord, my Discord, I mean, that were talking about it in the last day or so. Somebody was posting screenshots today, I think, of a couple different setups with Honey Bear on these smaller maps. You can disable stims that you're, or not just stims, but panic points, lava tiles. There's a lot of things that you can turn off with Honey Bear. It's pretty solid. So we get a bank from Roxbridge, our hero here, into Hevo 2.0. Got some Hevo 3.0 earlier, got some Hevo 1.0 earlier, so we're completing the trifecta. And the panic point advantage is in our hero's favor, so they're playing it a little more defensively. Still 12 keys in the bank. Here's the Hematic Gin Sting. So there's apparently going to be a one-shot on this. I don't know how exactly that's going to happen, because this is a lot of damage. This is 24/7. What level is this? This is a level 11 Gin Sting. The Hevo Triforce. Honey Bear hits all the marks, range, cute, ability, decent damage, good health, cheap. It's true. Honey Bear, I need to use it more. I need to level it. I mean, I guess I could use it as is because it's really for the ability, right? Like, yes, it matters for the damage and the health and stuff, but it's primarily there to get an ability. And when Scoposium comes back in, I'll probably try and force it there. I've been seeing a lot of usage of Charon on that map. But anyway, we're not on that map. Back to this one. We're actually getting a heal from the Hevo. Crushmore assumes the stem point, and we get a Boomer. Boomer's presumably just an arbitrary one-drop to continue the trade here. Our bad guy is up 1 key in the bank, but I would say that the board position is better for our orange player. When I saw that 1 cost and no damage, I knew he's board locked with a useless phobie, so I went all in next. Okay, Roxbridge is in chat for anybody watching this on YouTube. Which, if you want to hang out and chat, come by the live stream, RTChompGG. Oh no, I think this must be the turn. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, you can't possibly leave that Gin Sting there. That is not gonna end well for you. But yes, Roxbridge is correct. Bad guy is at 5 phobies and has this 1 key here, which is not going to do much other than be obnoxious. Now, it could influence the Hevo, just because, you know, you could position it somewhere to prevent the boop going a certain way or something, but other than that, who cares? But they are -1 phobie for damage purposes, damage intent. Get a little spider action going here. Oh, yes! Yes! This is probably worth a highlight, chat. Oh my god, with the boop. Okay, we gotta rewatch this turn. Hold on. We gotta rewatch this turn. This is a highlight reel worthy one. So this is a highlight reel worthy turn. You get this setup. You always have to be careful with spider. If there's a spider on the board, you need to respect the spider. Especially when you can get the challenge play takedown like this. But wait. There's more. You get the boop finish onto the lava. You love to see it. You love to see it. I had to clip that one. That one, we're building the archive for the highlight reels. And that's the end of that game. And chat, I can't really blame our blue player. That's a lot of damage. That was a strong play. That was a strong play. GG, Roxbridge. Well, we made a significant dent in the, replay count, chat. Yeah, that was some big brain plays. That one deserved the big brain. Because that was pretty bonkers. So basically what I've been doing, chat, is if you're a subscriber, I have been bumping them up to towards the top of the queue. Give the subscribers some sort of perk. It is cool that so many people submit. It's just, I feel bad because I'm perpetually going to be behind. I'm never going to be able to do them all. So our hero here is Demon. We're back on crypto, god damn it. Just unfortunate the patch breaks him. Yeah, DT explained or brought up their explanation of why that happens. And it makes sense. Basically, it kind of functions like StarCraft or Heroes of the Storm. And I'm sure other games where the replays are essentially playing the game. So if the game data changes, it's going to break the replay. Which is unfortunate, but I get it. Because especially if it's pulling data from the server and now does that say 36 turns? It does. It does, unfortunately. Oh, God. Speaking of unfortunately, we have Jeeves. We have a Jeeves. How many Phobies have spots? Ray Chargels, Jeeves, Primate number 9. Are there any others? And we get a Gonzo Bonzo as the follow-up. We haven't seen a Jeeves in a while, but we are seeing something that we do see a whole lot, and that is the construction has begun. I do love the animations from Jeeves. They look cool. What do you think, chat? Is Jeeves something that needs to get nerfed? I feel like it doesn't, but I don't know. I haven't played against it enough. So we don't have a panic point advantage either way. Both players are just building up their forces. Our bad guy has banked to 9, as has our good guy. So we're going to trade out 1-drops here. In fact, it just goes down, but obviously this is going to die to the corn. Get a follow-up 1-drop because this can now cap, which is exactly what you want to do here. You eliminate their low keys, you cap and buy yourself some tempo. But we get a Klepto here and a Cowbell to answer. But the 11 keys here means something big and nasty is probably coming out. The question is what? There are a lot of things on this map that could be like super heinous. We actually get a Contortio for now and a Jar. Kind of makes sense. The challenge here on this map with, say, Jeeves dropping traps in the center is that, well, A, there's a unicorn, so the unicorn could displace the traps. The other challenge is, oh, you love to see this. This is a cool play. Just snipe the Jar with the Klepto. That's spectacular. But going back to the traps, the other issue is you have these 1 keys that are going to go in and just trigger the trap, and they're going to die anyway, so it's like the trap's wasted. Not being able to refreeze something as it thaws, so maybe adding like one turn to the cooldown on Jeeves' trap. I could see it. We did have that funny game a while back where it was somebody just perma-froze a Cerberus, and that was super bonkers. Like, that was a really cool play. So we're just trading 1-drops here, keeping things relatively even. Were there any notes for this? Did I read them out? Nope, no notes for this game as to, like, anything particular happening. No, being immune to being frozen after thawing? I guess. But what if you have Rocket Man also? Is the intent to prevent any sort of freeze? Alright, so I think our blue players figured out, yeah, there's no point in actually trying to freeze the center, because just keep trading out. Orange has banked to 7, well, 6. Feels like a waste for Jeeves to be spamming traps on mid-panic when 1-drops are being traded. Exactly, Roxbridge. That's what I was explaining earlier. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know about this, though. I mean, Boom can go in. Is it going to? Probably not. Like, it could go in and tag the Unicorn, but it likely wouldn't do anything simply because you end up, like, the Unicorn could walk away and go heal on the spa. Honestly, I would have liked to have seen the Jeeves try and lay traps elsewhere other than the center point. Alright, so we get the trap cancel here, which is, again, part of the reason why Unicorn's here. Probably putting another trap there now. And we get a newly dead. I guess we're running low on 1-drops for both players at this stage. But it's panic point advantage orange, so blue has to make something happen. You know, how the turntable. The obstacle top and bottom is usually the VAZY play for Chuck setup. Not sure about it here. I think it's fine here if you feel you can like, Chuck is the obvious way to do it. But if you're able to control the center, it's the same thing. And at this point, both players seem very content to trade out 1-drops. So this could just be a matter of whose collection is better. Now, here's a reason to actually continue freezing the middle, because if a Resurrect Phobie is frozen and then dies, it doesn't resurrect. Which I'm a little surprised that we did not see a trap go down from the Unicorn. Because it had moved up a couple turns ago, so it should have been off cooldown. So I don't know if Demon knew that, but that... I found that out the hard way. Frozen Resurrect Phobies do not res. I'm not real clear on why, but that is how it works. I have no idea what the... Oh, okay. We got a spider as the remaining keys. So the Gravedigger's repositioning, presumably in order to break something to allow the spider to get in. But it could have done that... Oh, you know what it's going to do? Gravedigger's probably going to break its own statue so that way Klepto can swing in and hit the Walrus. Or it can go there. That works too. Obviously, you buff the Unicorn so that way you get double usage out of it. And that's enough for a dead Jeeves. Frozen Spider, don't matter. I mean, the Spider's probably going to pay for it. It's never going to unthaw, but... Jeeves is down. There's only 2 keys remaining. Well played. We saw it in the last game. You have to respect the Spider. Especially with a Gonzo Bonzo on the board, right? Like... I didn't know exactly how it was going to die, but that felt like, yes, Jeeves dies this turn. Now, granted, where would you put Jeeves? Jeeves would have to go, like, here or up here. And even then, maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, no, it has to go down here, or otherwise the spider can reach it. Oh no, the trap gets the boom. You don't even get the trade on, or the swap on the panic point. GG. Ms. Moffat is terrifying always? Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Call it an evening. Like I said, we'll probably be back early tomorrow night. Don't want to promise it just in case something comes up, but I plan to, at least at this stage. As always, if you're not part of the Random Thoughts Discord, if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be in the video description. If you're here on Twitch, !Discord. Got a lot of Phobies stuff going on. That's where you submit game reviews, etc. You kind of know the deal by now. I got to try and get Fright Night 3 set up. We'll see how it goes. Appreciate everybody hanging out. So for now, as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And Black Lives Matter.